Welcome, everybody, to the CrossFire podcast, where, thank God, Xbot keeps his phone on blast, folks. This is for you and us. What a great show we got tonight. There's a lot of people shuffling in. We got news going all week long, Nintendo Direct, things coming out that usually we would say there were leaks, but they're not. They're coming out from the actual developers, from the publishers, people coming out and saying things on Twitter that are in the know in the news source. So I'll let people kind of shuffle into the room. While we do that, we'll do some intros. And let me start with the man himself, Crap Gamer. Crap, how are you tonight?
What's going on? Pretty good, man. Just waiting to come in here and do some great Crossfire podcast with the gang.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's what we do. That's what we do here, Crap, and it's good to have you, buddy. Let me go down my usual suspects here. He's known as Xbot448. He's leaving gaming soon, sir, soon to create vape. I don't know what they are. Vape pens, apparently, folks.
No pens. Sub-ohm, man. I'm strictly box mods and atomizers, okay?
You guys don't even know what you're missing with what I learned in the 15 minutes before the show from just Xbot. Xbot, welcome to the show, buddy. Good to have you here tonight.
What's going on, everybody? Yes, my YouTube channel has been under some fire lately just because I think a certain console is okay, but I think we'll get into that a little bit later. Yo, huge shout out to the chat. It's about to be fire in here.
It is, buddy. I'll explain a little bit more in just a few minutes. The audience is probably wondering what we're going to get into, but they'll know soon. Let me go to my next guy here, Signore Bombastic. He only buys everything. Boom. Welcome to the show, buddy. How are you, Ben?
Well, I was gonna say something, but I had like a throw up burp from that God of War console, and I had to take a shot of water to get it, beat it down. Listen, I just cannot believe
you're not too far from me, man. I'm just
you're about a 2-hour ride. Come on, buddy. Listen, this week has been holy. I mean, man, this is one of the fantastic reasons to be on a podcast because I love talking gaming, and man, I don't think we're gonna have a minute of silence.
No, not tonight, buddy. Not tonight at all. Let me, as soon as we get, I'm jonesing to get through the initial part of this because we have such a studded lineup. My insider, your insider, from now on, we'll be calling him that from now on. Alan Walsh, FullThrottle.com. Alan, welcome to the show, buddy. How are you?
I'm doing really well. Thanks for having me, Mooch. What a crazy news week. Black Ops 4, Days Gone delay, The Division 2. Like, I could name them all and I'd still forget things. It's been unbelievable. But, I think the biggest news story of the week is, and as much as I don't really like to say it, is the fact that I'm considering buying the God of War PS4
No, oh God, please, no. Don't do it to us, Alan, please don't do it.
Take
my
that,
God.
boom.
Do you need like an eye exam or something? Word, man. We'll start a Kickstarter, get that straightened out, man. We got to get your eyesight looked out for you, man.
Well, listen, we're gonna come back. Alan, please do me a favor. Take a seat, have a drink of vodka. Listen, we're gonna get right back to that because we are going to hop all over that subject in about 30 seconds. But I want to go through. Well, we were going to have two special guests, but one is here already. My girl, Blue. Blue, welcome back to Crossfire. It's been too long. How have you been?
Hello. I'm doing great. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to get into these topics and to have an intervention for someone.
Yes, we are about to right now. Actually, somebody bring me over a hot lamp, okay? This guy needs to get sweated out right now. Alan, and let me just tell the audience, just so you know, Clowns is with the flu right now. We're hoping he'll join us. We'll see how he's feeling. He was under the weather, and we are going to have Predator H2O here any moment. He's just running a little late, but Pred will be joining us as well on the panel. Alan, listen, you broke it to us earlier. I think a couple of us right now are on Pepto-Bismol after the conversation we had. What led you to first think that you wanted to upgrade from a original vanilla PS4 to the Pro, and then what made you want to have that Easter-looking version of PS4?
Alan, why you're saying all this? Just to let you know, I am in your corner, brother. I am in your corner. All right, go ahead, let him know.
I'll be passing the ball to Xbox later on. No, the thing is, I've been thinking about a Pro for some time, and I have a 4K TV, and I get the games don't really run a native 4K on it. I get that, but there's no real benefit to having a Pro for a 1080p screen anyway. It is you do mainly need a 4K screen to get the benefit out of it anyways. And I sometimes like to play GT Sport on it, and the resolution, it looks okay, but it doesn't hold up as well as something like Forza and the native 4K. So it's like, I'm kind of thinking to myself, it would be nice to get a Pro, and I would like to get, the God of War game as well to check it out. The thing is, the Pro is a little bit of a pricey console for what it is. And, to get the bundle with the game and the PS4 Pro and to get a limited edition designed console, if it's priced right, I'm still waiting for the price to be revealed.
Well, generally, Sony doesn't.
$400.
Is it 400? Usually Sony does a 450 tag, don't they?
It's 400. It's $400. It comes with a physical copy of the game. It comes with digital content, and it comes with the limited edition Pro console. So
right. So if they do it at €400 over here, that would be a good price.
That's okay. This is logical. However, does that also mean you're going to get a little, something to cover it with, right?
Does it come with a great PS4 cover? It's a great question. A Kratos cover.
Yeah.
Come on, guys. It's not that.
Can I just say, if the Pro is anything like my standard PS4, anything I put on the top of that console is gonna melt. Have you ever felt the top?
It's worse.
Well, it's
roasting hot, even in standby. You leave it in standby mode. Feel the top. It's roasting hot.
I got Batgirl and
how much power does that thing use up? It's crazy.
Listen, I did a tweet today where I'm trying to play some PlayStation 4 games and playing Ratchet and Clank, a little Bloodborne, a little Hellblade. It sounded so loud that I thought I was on a plane leaving LaGuardia.
I saw your tweet about that, actually.
Dude, and you know what? It has complete space. It's not covered. There's nothing on top of it. And it is just so loud, it's literally unplayable.
Well, that's the problem, isn't it? That's my biggest beef with the PS4 is not, let's forget. I mean, yes, if it gets hot, it gets hot. And depending on where you put it in your entertainment center, that could be a problem. But realistically, for me, even when I'm playing Hellblade and I have the headset on, I can hear the fan
it's crazy.
Through the headset. It's loud, folks.
It's loud.
And this isn't the fanboy thing. This isn't to get anyone riled up. It's not even to be kind of comical. If you have a PS4 Pro or a PS4, well, mainly the Pro. I don't think the PS4, the vanilla, was quite this loud. The Pro is awfully loud. And it's funny because, you go back early into this generation when the Xbox first came out. First of all, Xbox One as a whole has always been silent. But it was ridiculed. It was tarred and feathered because it was just looking like a VCR back in the day. Okay, now it's got the sleek design, it's got the right people on it, etc. But it was hounded by the media for how it looked. When really, let's be honest, I don't care where you put your console, you don't really see it, and you're not staring at it. You're watching the television, playing a game. So this is something while I'm playing the game is disrupting the game with the sound, and yet the media, crickets.
Yeah.
Never say anything. There's not a complaint in the world. If you ask somebody on they've said that. They've been like, well, my PS4 Pro's loud. They're like, oh, yeah, it's loud, it's loud. Anyways, get back to the story. What were you saying? Like, it jumped right over. Let's wipe that right under the rug. But realistically, that's something that is a problem. And Sony had the problem a little bit with the PS4, the regular vanilla. They've had a major issue with the fan being loud in the Pro. And you wonder if that's something they're moving forward. As part of tonight's discussion, we'll get into next generation. Right? I mean, we're going to be talking about this. Like, do they care about that, or is that something they don't care about? Because I think as gamers, I think we care about it.
Well,
I certainly don't.
My whole thing is I had a 360 last generation, so when it comes to a loud fan, it doesn't really bother me because, I mean, let's be real, the 360 was loud as all hell. And I still gamed on it. I still had fun on it and everything like that. I have my Xbox One X right next to my vanilla PS4, and dude, the difference in it is night and day. My One X, I can't even tell if it's on if I don't look at the TV or the power button, but I can tell when my PS4 is running because that sucker is blowing, yeah.
And if you ever feel like the heat that comes out of both consoles, the X, moderately warm when you're playing a 4K game, but the standard PS4 Pro in standby, it's roasting.
Yes,
that's right. That's right. And that's another thing that's never discussed again by the media. This was a big thing when new consoles came out this generation, right? We were all talking about it. It was like overheating. Remember those people with the infrared like pictures, people using the heat gun to actually measure the heat coming off of it. But now
OD, man.
You know, now that Microsoft has taken off and it's not an issue anymore on the Microsoft side with no red ring of death and this and that, none of that happening. Well, now heat's not an issue. It doesn't matter. The PS4 could literally, like you said, it could cook eggs and it can be as loud as somebody screaming in your ear. And it doesn't matter. Nobody seems to care. This is part of that bias stuff that I'm talking about, that like people don't really see it. You know, they're not going to, the part of bias sometimes is also not bringing up the faults of Sony. You know, it's not saying that they always ridicule Microsoft, but I'm saying even when they don't ridicule Microsoft, they've never really ridiculed Sony. That's part of what I've said. And let me just say, we do have Predator who just joined us. Pred, welcome to the show, buddy. How are you?
What's up, everybody? What's going on?
What's up, buddy? It's good to have you here, Pred.
There we go.
So, Pred, we were just talking. No problem, Pred. We were just saying we were giving an intervention. Good timing. Alan Walsh has decided possibly to upgrade his vanilla to a PS4 Pro, and he may buy the new God of War custom
platform, Pred.
Hey, if I can give him a little piece of advice, they sell, you know, you can get a PS4 Pro on sale like $350. Then what you do is you go to one of these sites
and you get a sticker,
skins,
yeah,
and then you stick the skins on there. That way it looks
good. Yeah.
Because I tell you what, I don't know. I think they're like giving little kids, like babies, a marker and telling them to design these PlayStation consoles. They're just absolutely horrible. I've never seen anything as bad as that. If you saw Xbox Pope, he actually designed one that looked nice.
All you need, man, is a black and white image and exactly right.
You know, I was saying on the pre-show, actually, one of the biggest issues with the PS4 Pro is that it's really bloody hard to make a good design from that system because of the way it's shaped.
I don't agree with that, man. I do not. You have a huge flat surface on the top.
I like the God of War design. I do. But I do think it is a challenge to make a good design with the way the system is shaped.
I took graphic design in college, and I gotta let you know, man, the top of that thing and having it, you know, being able to stand up on its side and all that good stuff, it's basically like a canvas right on the top. I mean, you can do just about anything to it. So in terms of what I learned from graphic design and stuff like that, it's actually, you know, they should be coming out with stuff that like will make your head spin. Because
now I do want to just jump in here because I like what you're saying and you're making a lot of sense. Here's my problem. What? I mean, out of all of the images they could have decided to come out with, it could have been him holding his son. They could have been them standing together. It could have been him, you know, it could have been just the Omega sign. You mean to tell me
Omega sign wouldn't have worked? Yeah.
Well, it's on the controller, so it's they're making it work because it's on the controller. I'm not saying
that symbol that's on the right side isn't an Omega sign.
No, it's in the middle. It's on the touchpad.
Yeah, it's on the touchpad.
Oh, well, the traditional God of War logo, yeah.
Yeah, well, here's the problem. The problem is this. I understand they were going for the axe, you know, point of view to make it look like the axe is on there, but because the handle is so small, it actually looks like a Move controller and not an axe handle. That's the biggest problem with this thing.
That's the one thing I will agree with you on, is that the handle doesn't go all the way down. But when you look at the design, when you look at what they have on the side of the axe, that's actually the upgrade, your ability upgrade tree in the game. So as you level up Kratos going through the game, more and more of that side of the axe will light up. And they're doing this to really kind of promote the change in direction in God of War. And I gotta say,
we don't know that yet. Like most people are gonna go into the store and say, "Hey, should I buy this console?"
Right.
But I haven't.
It comes with God of War. It says it's for the God of War fans, and the God of War fans out there. If you're truly diehard fans, you've been looking into this game ever since they announced it.
Yes,
I'm too horizontal, so that vertical life ain't all about me, man.
You have to, when you make a console, you're supposed to make something that is appealing to the eye and not necessarily something that's like gives you all the details of the game, right?
See, they try to do both.
But I agree with Blue, because here's my thing. As a collector, or let's say I'm just a diehard God of War fan, I want something the minute you walk in the room that screams God of War.
Yes.
Screams God of War.
It does. It screams the new direction of God of War, though. And
that screams Pocahontas. I don't know what it is.
No, I know.
See, Native American is way different than Norse mythology.
The thing is, we don't know what that is. Nobody knows what that actually is. You know, I don't know. I don't know.
The game gets out there, of course, for the diehard fans that love God of War that are going to pick it up anyway. You know, the people are going to pick up this console. But once the game gets out there and people do playthroughs and people play the game and all this stuff, then all the symbology that's in that, it's just like when Halo 5, when they came out with that console. When they came out with that console, they had little Easter eggs. Now, what if somebody never played Halo? They would have no idea about those little Easter eggs all the way around that system. But once they played, then it's like, oh shit, that's what that means.
Dude, you shouldn't have to study to enjoy a console.
True.
That's all I'm gonna say about it, man.
Yeah, put Kratos on the goddamn map.
Exactly, crap. Why is it this one comes with an Ovaltine decoder ring? I don't know what it says. I don't know what that is.
No, man. It's like, you know, it reminds me of that damn what the hell's that damn movie where the Da Vinci Code? That's what that shit is, right?
Yes,
there,
exactly.
Send that shit.
I like that.
I've just discovered something that might have quite changed my mind on this system. So the price of it from GameStop here in Ireland is €470.
Jesus.
For €30 more, you can get a 1X.
Jeez, yeah.
Yeah, there it is, folks.
So that's kind of crazy. That's €70 more than a standard.
Well, I mean, that Pro that's kicking out that 4K and that 4K Blu-ray player. Oh wait, shit,
no, it's really not.
Well,
listen, you know, let's get into this, guys. We'll slowly get back to talking Alan off that ledge. You know, here's the thing I want to kind of get into. Me and Crap are going back and forth, and I think sometimes you lose it when you're talking about it on Twitter. You kind of lose it in the DMs because you know the characters, you don't feel like talking that much. You're typing a lot. I had a big problem with one of the smaller news things to break this week. Fortnite going mobile. Is that a big deal? No, I don't care. I was a little bit taken back by after thinking that maybe Epic and Microsoft have this great relationship that iOS, Android, and PlayStation 4 of all people are getting this crossplay. Not that I would use it anyways. This isn't a me problem, but I think it's an us problem to say, I thought crossplay was for everybody. It's supposed to include everybody. So why is it Microsoft's not involved? And supposedly these two companies are close.
They're pissed off at him about PUBG.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
So maybe they're not so close.
No.
Is that the case?
Yeah, I think it's to do with, you know, I think it might be to do with less than PUBG. I think what could be happening here is this could be more a thing to do with Sony, and it's like, because you know the way Sony doesn't really want crossplay between Xbox and PS4, so Sony was like, well, you have a choice here. You could either do the crossplay stuff with the PS4, or you can do it with them on the Xbox One. And considering that Xbox One is PUBG, maybe Epic were like, okay, let's.
But Alan, that's like
if
we were all out somewhere, everyone on this panel, and I'm like, Alan doesn't like to share with people, and then he's like, well, no, I've changed my mind. Okay. I'll share with everybody except Mooch. Wait, what? Wait, you're still not sharing, Alan. You're not getting the grasp here. The whole idea with crossplay is supposed to be the fact that, and Microsoft said this publicly.
Yeah, of course.
We want to play with everybody, and everybody should be able to play with everyone else. So when Sony does this, this is the same blocking that they've been doing just on the other side of the force field, right?
Yeah,
I think it's ridiculous.
It is, right? I almost would say, if I was Epic, I would say,
it's crazy.
I want to do a deal with you, but the whole idea was to open this up. Now you're closing the door again?
Mm-hmm.
That's not what I want. Because now Nintendo's, why can't the Switch? The Switch could probably, if a mobile device could play it, the Switch could probably play Fortnite mobile.
Fortnite's going to go to Switch.
So there you go. So does that mean Sony's also cutting Nintendo out?
Probably not. Or maybe, I don't know. It's, you know, look, when you're the market leader by so much, yeah, that you swing a mean bat. You know what I'm saying? That's all that is, man. It's like you got to roided out Barry Bonds up at the bat. You know what I mean? That's what Sony is right now.
That's a shame because don't forget though, Crap. We are talking about Microsoft. They're only number 3, number 2, or number 1, depending on the quarter of the richest company in the world.
Yeah, but that's all out the window when you talk about the console business. They've a lot of the times to a lot of people. Unfortunately, they've made themselves a little bit less relevant in the console space itself with some of their other moves. And so to to a game that's really just trying to, I don't know, like for me personally, I don't really give a shit about playing a game against people on a mobile device. Like, who wants that?
Absolutely.
I got to be honest with you. I just want to jump in here because even though I don't play PUBG, I have to be honest. If I was Microsoft, I don't even think I would care at this point because they have PUBG. Now, if PUBG was everywhere and Fortnite was everywhere and then Microsoft gets boxed out, then, okay, now I have a problem. But the issue is that PUBG in its current...
PUBG have a mobile version as well, though?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, it's like in China and stuff like that right now.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't...
Boom, you say they have PUBG, but do they really have PUBG?
Right.
That's true. That is a very, very excellent point, Brad. You know what? I'm assuming that they do. And you know what they say about people who assume?
That's right. Well, I mean, is this...
They buy a God of War PS4.
Well, I'm not one of those people.
That's a good point. Is this something that maybe pushes Microsoft to further their interests? And this is a good thing for Microsoft because myself personally, from the outside looking in, right now I'm looking at Bluehole and I'm looking at PUBG, and it's doing very well. So don't take this sentence the wrong way, but their stocks are down. This is a good time to buy.
Yes.
And right?
I think that hype train has kind of died a little bit for PUBG.
Absolutely.
After December, January timeframe, like February, it's kind of like, like no one's on it, right? Well, I look on there right now, everybody's on Fortnite.
Yeah, Fortnite seems to be pulling in a lot of downloads simply because of that free-to-play model. People see free. Yeah, free. They see free, and they're like, I'm getting that.
Play a bunch of 11 through 14-year-olds, go play Fortnite. And
you'll put it in GamePass now.
No, I mean, I agree with you, Pred. I think that's something that we should kind of get into. I think that Microsoft needs to, they should have pushed a little harder, and I think Bluehole shouldn't have resisted so much. I mean, you look at things like when you're a startup company, something small like that, and you throw a pickaxe in your backyard and oil comes up, like you sell that to a big oil chain immediately. There's no doubt that if you built the infrastructure and the oil wells yourself, you'd make more. But you're not equipped to do that, and Bluehole's not equipped. You can see they need Microsoft's help.
Well, there's this new article that just came out that says Microsoft suggests Fortnite PS4 versus Xbox One crossplay could still happen. This is according to Microsoft PR. We have been working closely with the team at Epic for some time to bring this functionality to all current and future versions of Fortnite, and expect it to be available on Xbox along with other platforms, says a Microsoft spokesperson. Microsoft has long been a leading voice in encouraging the adoption of cross-platform play and the potential of connecting players across PC, mobile, and all consoles. So,
okay, that's actually quite an interesting statement because usually that's not, if Microsoft didn't have anything quite solid on something like that, they'd have given a really vague answer. They'd have been like, we have a great relationship with Epic Games and we continue to support Fortnite on Xbox One. That's what they would have said.
Guys, I gotta say this, man, just because I'm seeing in the chat, and I'm getting so tired of hearing, well, Fortnite is better optimized. Fortnite is better optimized. Guys, let's be real here. The reason why so many people are playing Fortnite is the majority of them are kids that don't have money anyway. It is a free game. That's why you're seeing so many active users on it. There's a small piece of that community that talk about, well, I said a small piece. You could be a part of that, Blue. You could be a part of that. All right. And maybe your friends. I don't know.
I'm gonna let you finish, but
I know from the kids in my house and their friends and their friends, like all of them are coming together to play Fortnite. I asked them what is the biggest thing about that. They're like, oh, it's so fun to play. I'm like, all right, what if PUBG was free? Oh, I'd be playing PUBG. Like right off the bat. Yeah.
So here's the thing. I understand where you're coming from because
this is why I'm wrong. Let's do this.
It is free, and that's definitely a big reason why a lot of people are playing it. However, there are a lot of people watching streamers play, and that doesn't exactly mean that because it's free is why it's so popular. If people were streaming and it weren't a popular game, then people wouldn't watch it. Do you understand what I mean?
Who dominates audiences of live streams?
PUBG has been winning.
What demographic in terms of
what people have to realize is that Fortnite is also on PlayStation 4. So
Fortnite is a popular game, and because it's free, it definitely helps. But
you know what else was a popular game? Gang Beasts. And as soon as me and Snaps went and did a live stream of it, nothing but kids were in our our chats, our live streams, talking about the game, asking if they can come in and play. And
well, here's the thing, though, Xbot. Don't get me wrong. Numbers are numbers, right? Here's my whole thing with that. Like, we sit here and we say Fortnite, it was number one. We said that for a weekend, Sea of Thieves, and that's got a kid's kind of play to it and look and feel. Numbers, nobody cares at Microsoft, Sony, etc. If their game is number one and being streamed and being watched, that means, kids also talk, even though kids don't have wallets to go buy the game, kids have a way of annoying the shit out of their parents till they buy it. Right. So there's still money involved there, and I got, let me say, but hold on, Xbox, wait, hear me out. I just started playing Fortnite. Okay. And a lot of people that I play with, you will be amazed. I can't believe, not me, not the Mooch, but everyone I'm playing with has spent at least $10 for the battle pass.
Yep.
At least. And others have spent much more. And these are people that I know that don't spend money on games. I'm like, you are blowing my mind right now. And so this is happening, right? So PUBG is $30 and then the rest of the content's included, which I think is a better deal.
And it's the opposite with Fortnite.
Yes, it's the opposite. Go ahead, Xbox.
What I'm saying, I didn't say every single person and stuff like that, but I do. I'm saying the majority is that from what I've seen. And at the end of the day, here's the thing. I want to throw that common sense out there. I want to throw a different angle on it, because if people are going to just talk about the optimization and everything like that, you're sending this message back to the developers that the free-to-play kind of like infrastructure is the way to go, no matter what. And we don't want that to happen.
Well, listen, Xbot, I think that's a great, I like that you make that statement, because coming from the world of free-to-play, this may be the first game that's quote-unquote free-to-play that I actually like. I've never liked any of the other ones. I don't play mobile games. I don't do any of that. So I kind of like where you're going with that. The only thing I will say is this much. The game is a fun game. It's one of the first ones that I could say is free to play, that is something that I'm enjoying. And when I'm playing it, now this is the key part right here. Forget everything else I said. When I'm playing it, it doesn't feel like a free game. It feels like I pay. It's a quality game. Yeah. It's got there's a bit of that stuff, but crap. I played last night, man. There is something to that game that is so fun. And I don't know. It just is. It just is. You can't really go, I mean, it's PUBG, but the kids version. It's like cartoony version.
I think it's less so a kids version and more so like it does a good job of making fun of what it is, right? Because they have things like the boogie grenade, right, where they make people dance and you can shoot someone while they're dancing. They're doing a good job of catering to like, haha, this is fun, as opposed to take our game seriously. Yeah,
it's hashtag fun. And I'm not saying that anyone's really wrong. And I got news for you. After I play about 3-4 games of Fortnite, I'm with Crap in Crap's camp. I actually jump over and play a couple games of PUBG.
Well, you get 3 or 4 more rounds in on Fortnite than I can stand. I tell you that.
It's different. It definitely is different.
Hey, Crap, remember what you said the first time you played PUBG alone? You were like, this sucks.
No, I play Fortnite with friends.
You got to play more than 2 rounds.
What I'm saying, more than 2 rounds, man. I played Fortnite quite a bit.
But hold on, if you can't stomach more than 2 rounds, why do you tell him he could play more than 2 rounds?
Yeah, man? I just, that game, it's not for me. You can I don't know. There's a lot of problems.
I have a hard time. I have a very hard time. This is not a Crap. This is in general. I have a very hard time hearing from anybody that tells me they are going to put 150 hours in PUBG and they can't handle 3 rounds of Fortnite. That's the problem. That's just not even really logical.
PUBG. The problem with Fortnite are numerous because PUBG, there's some strategy involved with that. Fortnite, man, you could be set the hell up and then somebody just builds this long ass tower and has infinite rockets and just rains them down.
First of all, there's no such thing as infinite rockets. Number 2,
well, it seems like infinite rockets.
You can easily knock down someone's tower if you are set and good to go.
Or how about this? If they have a tower, why can't you?
Or they get some kind of because I don't want to sit there and build.
It takes about 8 seconds to build what you'd call a tower. It's not like you're actually out
a lot of the times when people have issue with Fortnite, it's because of the building, and I think that's fair. You don't like an aspect of the game, and it's a big aspect of the game, but you have to remember
small map.
You can't. One part of the game, you gotta kind of like,
Maybe for me personally, it's a very small map. No matter where you go, there's always people. You can't go prone in the game. There's potions and magic and berries and whatever. I'm not really interested.
Everything except for
it's not a game that I enjoy. So it's
fine,
like, I
fine.
can get why some people like it or whatever. I mean, that's all cool. But
I actually like to save the world.
Funny thing is, I like the story-based game to that.
Yeah,
the save the world is awesome.
I don't like the PUBG ripoff mode. That's all.
Exactly.
It's like they totally take it out like the strategy of it. Like when you're in PUBG, you got to plan where you're going to jump because you can't make it that far across the map. In Fortnite, you might as well just jump out right away because you can literally glide from one end of the map to the other end of the map.
It's close. It's pretty close. You can get pretty far when you jump.
Get pretty far, yeah, if you bring out your parachute early enough. But I mean, you can say the same for
like I remember the first time I played it, man. I was playing with my buddies. I jump out. I was like, "Oops, I accidentally ejected."
Right.
And they're like, "Oh, well, just use your thing, and you'll make it no matter where we are."
Yeah, well, I was shocked too because I did that too. Crap, I fell out, and they were like, "Wait, they're like, don't worry, just put your parachute up, you'll reach us." I'm like, "Really?"
I mean,
PUBG you really can't do it.
Thank you.
But then, like, if you can't find a car and you're on the other side of the map on PUBG, you're kind of screwed, right? You're gonna die. So there's different people say different things about both games, and I play both games, and I think that one is just more. I think PUBG is definitely more hardcore than Fortnite. I will say that.
Absolutely. There's definitely a seriousness to it. I mean, I guess after putting 100 hours in the PUBG, Fortnite was refreshing because it's faster rounds. It's definitely less serious, and the skill base is a little different. Like there, you got to be out. Pred, listen, Pred, how many hours? I mean, out of my 100 hours, I spent 50 or 60 with you. So listen, I mean, you can explain this better than me, maybe. What I'm saying to you is there was times when we were playing squads with Clowns, Assassin, me, you, and we're waiting. And sometimes we're in an area where there's just a lot of dead time, right? We're loaded up, we have the guns we wanted, and we're just sitting there. Whereas what we're doing in Fortnite while there's some dead time, there's the goofy emotes, or there's building, or I'm out there getting all kinds of like all kinds of materials to build. And there's stuff to do. It just feels like the game keeps moving, where PUBG sometimes feels like it's stagnant.
There's a lot.
I will also say that I feel that I've raged less on Fortnite than I have on PUBG.
Oh, absolutely.
Do you understand what I mean? Where on PUBG, I feel like I'm in this competitive mode, and it gets you
PUBG
in a mood where it's like, but on Fortnite, it's like, let's just go build a tower. Who cares?
Who cares?
You know what I mean? People get, competitive with it, but I'm just saying, like, it's different, right?
Right.
Different modes, different games.
So you get to like the last 20 people in the game.
Yes.
If you're like 98 and you're still running into the zone, like you're like, fuck this, but if you're like in the top 20, you're in the zone, you got some good gear, that's when the game actually like lifts up for you.
Here's the other thing, guys, for all you guys that are in kind of Crap's camp saying, and I don't think Crap's wrong, that's his opinion. What I'm saying though is, Crap, here's what you may not want to hear. PUBG in the very near future is going to be mimicking Fortnite.
How?
They have a smaller map coming, much smaller. It's the same size as the one that's in Fortnite. It's very small. And they're going to be doing emotes.
They've already had
emotes
in the
PUBG
PC version for a while, though.
Well, but I'm saying what I'm saying to you is that the game that you say you're despising because of those things,
like rave dancing music in the background. I mean,
Pred, what are you seeing on the PC version that's emote?
I actually have not even touched the PC version in a couple of months, man.
Because I didn't know the PC version even.
Guys, check this out.
I've been playing the hunt, man. Sorry.
Right.
I know by my house, right? I went and I talked to my kids about these games, and as soon as Sea of Thieves comes out, the 10-year-olds, the 14-year-old, none of them are going to be playing Fortnite anymore. They said they're going all in on Sea of Thieves.
No. Don't say that, Xbox. Come on.
They are.
Don't say that, Xbox.
I was playing today, dude. It was nothing but kids on there.
All right, here's the deal. The oldest is getting Game Pass, right?
Yeah.
And he is he's game sharing with the twins Xbox One. So they automatically get it as well. They already said that it's pretty much done with Fortnite. They're going Sea of Thieves all the way.
Really?
That's them. That's nothing to me. My oldest was in here before the show, and we were watching a couple of highlights of Sea of Thieves. He's like, I cannot wait until this game comes out. Like that's their thing right now. They're 100% Sea of Thieves.
But let me ask you a question, Xbot, to kind of combat what you said earlier in the show. You said, the kids are watching Fortnite. So you just told me your kids are all in on Sea of Thieves. So when Sea of Thieves in 2 weeks shows Twitch numbers that are through the roof, a lot of that is kids.
Yeah.
No, definitely. I hear that, man.
It's not a bad thing.
I mean,
Not bad at all.
what he's saying is that you were crapping on Fortnite about kids being the audience, and now you're saying Sea of Thieves is going to have a kid audience. So, like, are you also crapping on Sea of Thieves?
I wasn't. Hold on. I was not crapping on audience. I was just using common sense on most of the people that are watching that game and playing that game.
No, excellent. You make good points, and actually, what you said wasn't wrong. You're 100% right. My whole thing about it is that in the end, we can't sit here. We don't know the demographic of everybody on Twitch. We don't know.
The most I can say is at least with Sea of Thieves, you don't have like 99 other people and the majority of them being kids. At least
I can't build a big ass house on my boat and then rain down rockets on people.
That would make Sea of Thieves pretty goddamn cool, to be honest with you. Why not?
Hey,
hey, dedicated rave mode for Sea of Thieves.
Crap is like so like no.
Gamer Boss, this just in. Gamer Boss just wrote down dancing emotes to come. First DLC.
Debuting April 1st.
Let's move on to our next subject here. We do have so State of Decay got a 25-minute. State of Decay 2 got a 25-minute showing, if not more by now, on the
incredible
IGN first. And you know what? It's been big on my list, and it's just growing on me more and more and more. What do you guys think? And not just that, but I do want to say this much. What do you guys think about this? And what do you think its essence in Game Pass? What's really going to happen with this with Game Pass? Because I'm seeing people say they're going to buy it outright now. They're going to buy it outright.
It's only $30. Why would you wait?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, right off the bat, it is $30. But here's the thing: we have been on this panel and been talking about Microsoft's marketing for what seems like forever, right? Even though I don't like IGN, I don't go to the site anymore. I have to say it was ingenious to get out in front of this price and show that 25 minutes because, man, crap, you did a story, I did a story, everyone did a story. The community literally was ready to jump out of a window for the $30 price point. And after watching that video, I listen, I understand it's the PC, but if you own an Xbox One X, it's probably going to look like that. You have to say you walked away impressed.
Well, for me personally, I mean, the game looks fun. It looks just more like of what you'd want in the game, so that's cool. I have to say the only disappointing part was the graphics. I felt like they were using what they considered high octane PCs, and they don't look that good to me. Compared to the first game, it looks amazing. Mm-hmm. But I'm just saying, for me personally, graphically, I think, and probably Mooch expected this too. We expected just really something a little bit different in the graphics department. But I think the game's going to be amazing, and I think the price point is going to be very. It's a very good budget price point for people, like if you were worried about it, it's easy to kind of.
I think, boom, if you can, just to put it, me and Crap were talking about this on Xbox Nation, and what we were talking about even in DMs, was this, when it was originally announced, and tell me how you're feeling about this, Boom. We thought we were going to get Dead Rising 3 kind of graphics moving forward.
Xbox Nation, and I actually heard that, and you know what? Here's the thing. When this was announced as Microsoft being like a big deal, I honestly thought it was going to be a big budget title. I really did. I think everyone did.
And you're in our camp. That's kind of what I was thinking. So when we saw these, and Xbox said it last week or the week before on this show, he said, come on, Mooch. He was actually giving me a little bit of slack. He goes, Mooch. He's like, come on. We saw what it looked like, and I'm like, all we've seen are still drawings, and the still drawings look very, very, very similar, very, very high res versions of the first one.
It doesn't look like 360 graphics like a lot of people are saying, but it's definitely not. And especially, I don't know, like we're 2 months out. I would have loved to see something on an Xbox. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like you would like something, but apparently they weren't even allowed to capture any Xbox footage, which is odd to me.
Yeah,
that is quite strange because I remember leading up to the launch of Xbox One X, all the Xbox games, like whether it was Forza 7 or whatever it was, we had to capture those on Xbox One X, and we had to capture in 4K resolution. There was just you were not allowed to capture from a standard console or in 1080p or anything like that.
Yeah.
And now, again, there's nothing wrong with this, but I think what me and Crap were all saying, we were kind of looking, and boom, you just kind of added to the stats. We were thinking it was going to be like a Dead Rising 3. And in essence, it kind of ended up looking like a Dead Rising 4, if you see what I'm saying.
Yeah, smaller player models, right? Still detailed and everything like that.
And Noof in the chat goes, hey, guys, State of Decay 2 looks great. Noof, absolutely. that's not really where we're going. I would just say that when news broke back 3-4 years ago, when we saw Undead Labs was partnering up with Microsoft, and we said, wow, you're going to go from this small, tiny little company, and now they've been absorbed by Microsoft. I thought we would have kind of stepped a little bit more into that. Like I said, if you're trying to see where I'm talking about, like that Dead Rising 3 kind of look, there's a big difference, folks, between Dead Rising 3 and Dead Rising 4. You have to say that.
Well, yeah, because if you look at Dead Rising 3, not a single zombie has a clone anywhere in that game, even though there's hundreds on the screen at the same time. Whereas Dead Rising 4, they cheaped out a little bit, and the zombies all look alike and stuff like that. And it's like it wasn't as detailed or as you know.
And again, not saying it's negative. The game is
like
it's a
podcast. That's what we're supposed to do is talk about it, right? I think the game looks fine. It's going to be great. It's going to be fun. I think that it's a good budget title. And when I say budget title, I don't mean the content wise. I mean, it's anything that's $30-$40 is a budget title. I don't care what console it's on. It's a budget title from Microsoft, and every console needs those. Agreed. So, hey, it's going to be fun if you're into like the co-op survival stuff. I think you're not going to find a much better game than that.
I think it's the details are what's going to make this game a classic. When you look at the multiplayer, and you have to bring your own character, one of your own characters in from your single player, and if they get the virus and they die, they are done. And not only that, but when it comes to like getting things, first of all, your inventory, you bring your inventory with you from your single player game. There's an attachment to your characters when you're playing this game that I think it's going to be magnified a lot more once this game goes out to the public. And when you're out in multiplayer maps, they have like specific chests and stuff like that will go for you that your partner can't open. Like, say if you have the green icon over your head, there'll be a green chest there. Nobody else can open that but you. So you'll be able to get like unique things from playing multiplayer and stuff like that. There's a lot to this game if people actually like sit down and watch the 25 minutes of gameplay and listen to what they're talking about with the game. I think the lighting looks incredible. When you look at nighttime and how they're not using that dark blue, but they're using a black to show how dark it is, like past your flashlight and stuff like that. It adds to the creepiness of being out there at night. It's a very atmospheric game. It's one of the
IGN producers that I don't know if he was on the 25-minute reel or not, but I follow him on Twitter, and I can't remember his name, Brian something or not. He's behind the scenes. He's no one that most people know. And he said something along the lines of, he goes, just want to put this out there. I did a night mission by myself to go out and do something that I had to do for the community to bring back. And he said it was absolutely a thriller. It was like creepy as shit is what he's saying. And that was something that was like kind of fun to see, because there's a very fine line with State of Decay 2. I'm hesitating, and I won't really use the words cartoony, because there is some real life kind of colorful caricature, right? Yeah. At the same time, it's not The Last of Us, okay, or Dead Rising 3. Right? There it is, crap. It's great. It's like a crap soundboard for Sony games. I love it.
Hey, man, you're not going to find a bigger fan of the original God of War series or the Uncharted series than me. I think Uncharted 2 might be the best game of last generation. But just when it comes to The Last of Us, it's hot garbage.
Yeah, see, I'm shocked you think that, because there's so much in common with Uncharted, except for the fact that the one thing you say where
they reused all the models and stuff from Uncharted. Of course, it's similar.
Oh yeah, it's basically that's what I'm saying. So that's what I'm saying. It's hard for you know what I mean. It's kind of like
for a game to be fun, it's got to have controls that work. And that the janky controls with the aiming and all that stuff, and it just is ridiculous.
Well, I thought one of my first things that I always said when I first got on YouTube, and it was hard to put into words. It's still hard to put into words. There's something when you're playing a Gears of War, you're playing a Halo game. The controls feel so crisp, right? They feel so crisp, almost like even a Call of Duty game, right? So crisp, so precise. And for some reason on Sony games, I feel like, and this is not, it's just, this is a regular comment about the games. I feel like a lot of their games, even their AAA big ones, the controls are hard to muster. Like controlling Kratos with the camera angles is awful in 1, 2, and 3. I feel like when you're controlling Drake, Nathan Drake, it's looser. It feels looser, and like when you stop moving him, he like fumbles, bumbles, and keeps walking like the Scarecrow. He's, it's like, all right, I like that crisp. When I let go of the controller, your controller stops. You might go, well, Mooch, that's just realistic. Like nobody stops on a dime. It does in video games, dude. So like that's the whole thing with me. But yeah, I understand where Crap's coming from. But my argument is The Last of Us, what annoys him with throwing the bottles is the same annoyance with the crates in Uncharted. You know, so I mean, they kind of played off on that, but I find it hard not to like one and like the other. But that's a me problem apparently.
No, I like that. There's adventure and there's really good characters.
Well, you don't really like the zombie thing.
Joel was a dick. I didn't like. You know what I mean? Like I didn't.
Joel was a dick.
Didn't
So
like
you
the
didn't have a problem
characters.
with the story. You just
The story was so cliche. Like that was yeah.
Oh, I love that story.
I
though.
did
It was
too.
really cliche. I was like everybody's like playing it and they feel like,
But
man,
the
you get right in the
feels,
feels right at the
feels,
beginning, and I'm like, I don't give a shit. I don't feel for any of these
That
characters.
first, let me tell you something, Crap. That first opening scene is devastating.
Yeah,
It
I tried to get into that game multiple times.
You
like,
heard it here
on
first,
PS3.
ladies and gentlemen. Crap
on
has no
PS
feelings.
I know.
No feel.
Help it.
Soulless.
I
You're
tried on the
soulless.
PS3, right? I got that PS3 Last of Us edition when my fat PS3 broke. I was like, all right, I'll go ahead and get this. I tried and I almost beat the game and I just couldn't do it. It was so boring. I got tired of it. I was like, I had enough of helping this bitch across the water on that plank. I've thrown like a million bottles. The janky controls, finding 4 bullets to kill 10 people. You know what I mean? Like it was ridiculous. And then I got the remastered version on PS4. And I was like, I'll give it another try, and it was bad. Then I tried playing. I was like, well, I'll play a briefer version in the standalone DLC. And Jill's injured. You're Ellie. Go help her. And it was the same boring shit, but you're just a girl now. And I can't get into it. It's bad.
Yeah.
I get where Crap's coming from. I've never really had felt the incentive to get The Last of Us at all. I have never played it before, and I've never.
Wow, Alan.
I need to get this game. I don't know what it is. Like if I see it if I see the remastered version at a really good discount, I'll consider picking it up.
I think it's like
$10.
it's like $13. Wait, Pred, what did you say, Pred? Did you say you did or did not play it?
I haven't played it yet.
See, now, Pred, I think you would like it. Now, I'll be honest with you. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say, Alan, I actually think, especially if you get that hideous PS4 Pro.
Oh no!
Please play The Last of Us on that remastered.
You know what the thing is? You were saying it's on sale there. One of the annoying things Sony does is the deals they run in the US are not the same as in Europe. They use very different pricing. So if something is on sale in the States, it won't be on sale in Europe. Whereas on Xbox, if something's on sale in the States, it's on sale worldwide.
Can you just make a US store, a US account, and then just
you'd have to like link it to like I think a US credit card and stuff like that.
You know what, Alan? I would actually hold off, being that you've waited this long, because the way that PlayStation Plus has been going, I wouldn't be surprised if that shows up.
That's an outstanding
point. That's a very outstanding point.
I mean, dude, come on! This month was
if Bloodborne's there. I can't see them not doing that. The way I can tell you is this: they have been holding on to that Last of Us remastered like grim death.
Because they're trying to figure out how to repackage and sell it to you again.
That's
dude.
right. That's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
Well, I got news for you. I'm calling it now. Next, I know one.
Yeah, right. I heard that.
I know one of the games for next month, Mooch, and it's going to be God of War 3 remastered.
That could very well be.
That would be awesome.
I'm going to go ahead and just say
I already own 2 copies of that. The physical
I own it
and
already.
The digital one.
All the games that everyone's hooting and hollering about with PS Plus. And this isn't because I'm not boom. I don't buy everything.
It would be nice of them to spend a $5 though, because that game was $5 digitally. I had the physical. I bought it digital just to be less pain in the ass, so that I could just turn it on to play it. Yeah.
Well, let me get into this, guys, because I do want to kind of get into State of Decay a little bit. Boom, you buy everything, so I'm gonna start with you. Yes. Are you buying State of Decay 2? Or are you doing Game Pass?
I'm doing Game Pass.
Wow, you're not going to get the unlimited and play it 4 days early?
Here's the thing. The thing is this. I love the idea, right? Like that. It's the guy that buys everything.
Yes.
And normally, years ago, I used to literally buy everything, but because things have gotten like we paid full price for some of our games. Yeah, like Wolfenstein, right? The horror game that you and I both loved. Oh my God!
Evil Within 2.
Yeah, Evil Within 2. Yep. 2 weeks later, it was $30.
That's right. There's something to be said about that.
So I've come to the realization that, you know what, I'm kind of taking a bit of it. Like I will get, like, for instance, Far Cry 5 is already paid for. God of War Collector's Edition already paid for. there's certain games that
Those
I'm not
big AAA blockbusters
Yes,
you're already
yes.
paying for.
right. I mean, I'll gladly pay full boat for those, but there's some titles that I'm just like, I mean, look, perfect example. I canceled my pre-order of Metal Gear Survive. Thank God I did. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, what about you, Blue? What are you doing? Because I like to ask the guests. What are you Game Passing this game, or do you want to buy it?
I'm most likely gonna buy it because of, and I think that whole having the early access kind of pushed that for me because I'm a streamer. So playing it early would be great.
Yes, that'd be great for your
also,
channel.
I haven't decided if I want to continue to pay for my Game Pass in order to play my games. Like I haven't decided yet if I want to do that because these games that are coming out for it are going to be games that I plan on playing long term. So I haven't decided yet about how I feel about Game Pass and things like that. So
yeah, that is kind of a touchy subject because I myself personally, I'm on the fence because this is a game that like it's going to eat me up inside to see. I know people on my friends list are going to be playing this 4 days early, and I'm going to be like, Game Pass. I'm waiting for Game Pass, and I'm like, do it, Mooch. Like, buy it, buddy, buy it. And I asked Crap this question. I thought this would have been really, really, really cool for Microsoft to give this incentive. Like, okay, so I have Game Pass, great. So I'm entitled through Game Pass to have that $30 game. There should be an option in there that says for Game Pass owners, a plus 20 button, right? So you pay the $20 extra and I can play it through my Game Pass 4 days early.
And
I know that sounds complicated.
DLC.
Right. I know it sounds complicated, but it's really not complicated. It's harder for me to explain it for them than them to put an extra button right next to buy.
Well, they could just do it as DLC, dude. They could be like, okay,
right,
if you buy the DLC package for 15 or $20, you get early access. That's not. You're right, dude. It's not really hard to do.
That's not hard to do. It's hard if I put it in the words. It sounds like stumbling and fumbling over words. You're like, oh, that's hard to do. Mooch, they're never gonna do that. It's a button, dude.
It is.
So yeah, I think that's something that they should have done because here I am as a Game Pass guy, and I'm saying to you, hey, I'm gonna throw you $20 extra. You want it?
They're already giving you the game for $10.
Crap, you can't say Crap. You bought every single game that came out with an early edition this year. You had the Forza one. Yeah, I want to play it early.
To do that. Yeah, well, to spend your $50.
I'm already getting Game Pass. Okay,
see, that's my thing. Like, I don't want to do both. Like, people are just like, if you you can pay for Game Pass and play the games and then decide if you want to buy it. But I'm just like, if I'm gonna buy it, I'm gonna buy it. I don't want to pay for Game Pass and buy it.
I'm with Blue with
State of Decay, right? Just like they did with the first one.
Yeah,
you don't even get the real ending until you buy their DLC. So if you're just playing it with Game Pass, you're not getting the full ending until you buy the DLC. So you might as well just buy the $50 version and get the DLC included.
That actually makes a lot of sense, Crap. Now wait, that being said, you've said you're doing Game Pass.
I'm not doing Game Pass on that game.
You are not
on that game.
Oh, okay. I
might not even do Game Pass on Sea of Thieves. I'm really torn about it because it's a game I see myself playing a lot, and
that's what I said. I don't want to pay for Game Pass for a year.
Yeah,
if I plan to play for a year.
See, I got Game Pass as a gifted to me for a year. I don't plan on
one
renewing.
For free.
I don't plan on renewing it. So like it's like for me personally, what's another 60, 70, 90 bucks or whatever?
Oh,
it's not.
Crab said he balling.
Yeah, no.
I'll say this: like, if
what do you got, Brad?
They have like a shitload of exclusives coming out on Game Pass. Then Game Pass will make sense to me. But if I'm only gonna buy like 2 games, exclusive games this year, like, and it's gonna be State of Decay and Sea of Thieves, then I'm just gonna buy them outright.
But you're gonna buy Crackdown 3 as well.
I'm not sure about that.
Brad,
I've never played the Crackdown series.
Oh, see, Predator brings up a good point. This is why I think Game Pass was announced when it was. So many people are iffy about games like State of Decay 2 and Crackdown 3 because, Crackdown 3 has been delayed multiple times. We don't hear anything about it. Hell, we didn't hear anything about State of Decay until exactly 2 months before its launch, and even then, we don't see any Xbox footage. So people might be concerned, and Microsoft's like, well, let's let people try it in Game Pass if, that's kind of hedge our bets there.
That's a great strategy for today, and that hurts them for Gears and Halo, though.
Yeah, I mean, well, I don't know. Like, I'll always buy Halo and Gears and Forza. You know what I mean? Like, I think, again.
Well, you know what? Let's use yours and Blues as example for a second because I think you're both right. So this year, okay, for 2018, with Crackdown 3, let's be honest, Crackdown 3, State of Decay 2, and Sea of Thieves. Okay, I understand Sea of Thieves has got potential, right? It's kind of like somebody in the minor leagues in baseball. You're like, this guy's hitting like 500 in the minors. But then he comes up, starts hitting major league pitchers. Let's see if he's still hitting 500. My point is, it's got the potential to be a huge hit. But what I'm saying to you is, these are 3 games, and you guys just said this. I'm just using different words. Microsoft was like, this may not sell well on their own at 60 and 30 respectively. Let's put this in the Game Pass and make it work. Next year, 2019, when all of us in our year or 6 month expires in Game Pass, and you know that you're getting a Gears and a Halo, maybe that's where we would not, right? This is where we would not re-up Game Pass next year, because next year, let's just say Halo and Gears is coming out next year, whatever. I'm not going to renew my Game Pass because I don't care about the other games in there. I'm going to buy Halo and I'm going to buy Gears. So Crap makes a good point. So maybe 2018 is the year of Game Pass. 2019, it's gone for me.
I got so many fucking subscriptions anyway, and I just, you know what, and this is a me thing. It's not down on Microsoft. I just don't see Microsoft coming out with enough exclusives every year to keep me interested in that, or to keep me paying for it. You know,
I think it's definitely the type of gamer that we are, right? Because we plan on playing these games for a while, and we also think about our money and if we're getting our money's worth. So if we like the replay value, I still play Gears now, right? And so can you think about like having had a Game Pass for that long? You know what I mean? Like, would you be playing for Game Pass just for one game because of the multiplayer? You
have a great choice when you have over 160 games, and they're gonna keep like adding to that as well.
I'm sorry, I don't play old games.
Oh, well, that's you though. That's you.
That is kind of why Game Pass doesn't really appeal to me as much either, because if it's something I really want, I'm gonna buy it anyway. Second is I'm not really interested in. It's like when they're like, we're adding Rise of the Tomb Raider. I'm like, shit, man, 2015 called. You know, like,
yeah, but you know what?
Check this out, guys. See, I like where you guys are going, because you guys are talking, you know, personally about what you're gonna do in terms of Game Pass and buying games or whatever.
Right.
This is a win-win for Xbox, because you have people on the fence that and then are gonna buy the game, but then you have these people that are on the fence and they're like, you know what? I'm just gonna throw another $10 down for another month and see what this game is about. And then you look at the total number of people that are buying Game Pass. You got to remember, Xbox isn't talking about sales anymore. It's about active users. So Game Pass, all that's going to do is quote unquote pad the stats when it comes to how many people are actively playing.
I can't be an Xbox dude that gets excited about active users. I'm sorry. I'm not going to be that guy.
But hear me out. But here's what you can get excited about, right? We talked about this earlier. We talked about this years ago. We talked about the more money Microsoft does make essentially does equate more games. So hear me out. Xbox made a good point, though. Here we are on this panel. Some clearly divided between Game Pass and buying it, and all we're arguing is, I'm throwing Microsoft money this way. No, I'm throwing it that way. So the good news is Microsoft is making money on both sides of the argument.
I definitely don't think it was a bad idea to introduce Game Pass. Game Pass is not for people like me, right? That I don't find any joy in playing old games. Like, I'm not going to be playing the extra ones, and then the exclusives I most likely want to buy because I'm going to be playing for a long time anyway. So that's different. But there are people who don't buy exclusives because they're not sure about it. So those people are going to play Game Pass, and that still gives them money. So it's
fine. I think it's fine. I mean, I think it's a fine thing for people. I just, like, for me personally, I'm in that same boat. If it's something I want, I'm gonna buy it.
You know, don't get mad at me if you can't afford Game Pass for your 1 month and you can't play games for me. I'm just saying.
And I also, like, I've heard that whole spiel about it just gets us more games. I've heard that for years now, Mooch, and I'll believe it when I see it.
Well, listen, I know where you're coming from, and I don't mind you actually saying that, Craig, because I think you're onto something. But the thing is, though, I mean, that's just the business model. So even though you're right, but that if they're not making money off the games, you can clearly bet your bottom dollar you're not going to get a lot of games. So maybe you're right that if they make money, we're not seeing what you want to see, but we certainly wouldn't see it if they weren't making the money.
Mooch and Crap, when it comes to Microsoft and Xbox in terms of making money, we saw this entire generation, right? Pretty much the entire time, Xbox coming in second place. When it comes to hardware sales, they're lagging behind. But hold on. Did you check their profits all the way through that, though?
Well,
They're
profits
always
is
making money, but see, so they know how to crunch numbers to where they are making money. And when it comes to Game Pass, there's going to be a steady stream of revenue that's going to Xbox, and it's going to the developers that have their games in Game Pass, allowing them to make more games as well. So when it comes to a situation like Quantum Break, where that game got completely bashed by the media, so people weren't paying $60 for it, but I can guarantee there would be a huge number of people that would try it out on Game Pass, and that means they would still get money for that. They would still have a revenue stream, and you might get a Quantum Break too. It's common sense to me, man.
I mean, you got to think of it like this, you know, for someone who is getting an Xbox. Again, when Crap talks and when Mooch talks and when we're all diehard gamers, right? So we buy pretty much everything. I obviously have the nickname for it, so I try to buy everything, and it's the truth because I support all three consoles and I love gaming. It's my only vice. I don't drink, I don't smoke. This is what I do. I game, right? So that's where my money goes. But you got to think of it like this. If you're just getting into Xbox and you get that Game Pass and you put that in there and you have 160 plus games at your disposal, you don't even know where to start. Right. Okay. Right. And then that's how these, you know, you play Gears, you play Halo. Oh, look, Sea of Thieves. Oh, that's in there. And that's how they get you. You know, they put the $10 in, and hey, mom, can I add this to the bill? Yeah, sure, it's only $10, but no problem. It's like Netflix.
The thing is, they're not advertising this anywhere.
No, you know what? Again, it's a great point.
That goes back to the marketing debate.
Yes,
I mean, they're literally there's no marketing for this stuff. Like what your kind of would be where a casual would come from. Hey, mom, can we? There's no casuals that know about this. Right? They advertise it on YouTube before hardcore gaming videos and on the dashboard of Xbox. So outside of that, nobody really knows.
Yeah, again, it goes right back to the marketing, how poor it's been.
Listen, I'm an Xbox dude first and foremost, but I gotta say, when you see Nintendo do their direct and the way people react, when you see Sony announce something and the way they react,
it's true.
That's what I care about. I couldn't give shit less about Microsoft making fucking money and people going damage controlling and saying it's going to get us more games. I've been hearing this more games goddamn argument for fucking years. I heard this when we were going to get Play Anywhere. It's going to lead to more games. When we get this, it's going to be more games. When we get this, when?
Well, Play Anywhere was last year.
That was 3 years ago, dude. Like, when are we going to get more games, man?
Do you think that, like, with this whole monthly thing we're doing with Xbox coming out here, I guess later this week or whatever, that's going to actually bring more light, more recognition to the Xbox brand?
You mean the Inside Xbox show?
Yeah.
I think that's their idea, but if they're just going to be talking about shit like Far Cry 5, which has an exclusive shit with Sony, and Sea of Thieves, which we've been seeing nonstop Sea of Thieves shit every day on the Rare channel anyway, like who cares? Nintendo, did you watch the Nintendo Direct? They show you new stuff. It's like, holy shit, it's stuff you want. Games, right?
Yeah, enough more exclusives for that console than we've had for the last 2 years on Xbox.
Did you see the people flip out when they saw Smash Brothers? Like, that's what I want for Xbox fans. Give us something to be excited about, and it ain't fucking services. Great. It's good. Game Pass is awesome. Cool beans, right? Look up the meme, cool beans on YouTube and have a laugh, right? But for me personally, it doesn't mean a hill of shit, a hill of fucking beans. Yeah. Why? Because unless we got these games coming in where all this Microsoft money that they're making, it doesn't mean anything to us. We got this console. We want the games. It's like we got the, you know what I mean? Like,
well, hold on. Isn't that a community thing though? Because like when Gears 4 was shown, did people like jump out of their seats? How about when Sea of Thieves was first shown? All I saw from the community was a lot of kind of like indecision.
It depends on what community. I was excited for both.
But when it comes to Smash Brothers is a huge franchise that a lot of people love. So when they saw a new one, people went crazy.
Dude, when people saw Kratos, go back and watch that E3 where they introduced the new God of War. People lost their shit.
People are nostalgic.
I'm telling you, people lost their shit. Like Xbox fans would lose their shit if we got stuff we actually wanted. And I'm not talking about ReCore
No,
You know,
Right.
I'm
Well,
not
yeah.
talking about a sequel to Recore. Give a shit. We want like
You know,
something that's
Crap
going to
makes
make
a point. It doesn't even have to be something that's 12 years old. If you showed just a glimpse
Yes.
of Fizzy showing back up again, people be like, oh shit, it's gonna be State
Exactly. Yes, there you go,
Overdrive too.
Mooch.
You know?
Exactly. Holy people, that would be a holy shit moment, right?
Right.
You'll get that
Microsoft
because
Flex.
Microsoft has a problem with getting sequels to new franchises.
See,
Yeah,
the problem is though, what Crap's really saying essentially is they're listening, but they're not listening.
They're not.
Right. Yes, I agree. And you know what? Look, you got to call a spade, folks. There's a reason why they're in third place. I mean, come on. I mean, listen, I mean, I like to consider myself an Xbox guy, quote unquote, right? And I have to say,
When you critique anything Xbox, people go, "Oh, you're just a hater. You're just that,
listen,
right?" It's
we're
like bullshit.
fans, and we, you know what? Listen, I like the Xbox One X. It's an amazing console.
It's the best console
Sure
out
is,
right
yep.
now.
There's no doubt about it. But the bottom line is, we've been hearing about Sea of Thieves, State of Decay 2, and Crackdown 3 for as long
2
as I've been
years at least.
retired.
Yeah.
Okay, and I've been retired 4 years. Okay, so here's my point. Here's my point. Here's my point. We need something to get excited about as Xbox fans.
What do you think E3 is for, though?
I
Like,
get that.
Every
that,
fucking
but
year we say wait till E3.
Yes.
Yeah, I know.
I gotta say
Here's-
this,
hold
and
on,
I said,
hold
and I
on,
think I might have said this in a video earlier today. I don't. They all bleed together for me, but there's no more damage controlling E3 this year. If they fuck it up, it's done. It's I'm tired of it.
We all said that last year. We said that this last year was
but hold on. But they did. For me personally, I thought their last E3 was pretty good. Like you don't end it on a multi-plat, but they did out of all the E3s, they did the best one.
Last year
they
was
did
really
almost
good.
2 hours.
Yeah,
you know.
Last year was really good, and here's the thing. Like when you listen to what Phil Spencer said, this is where this E3 right here. I know people are saying wait for E3 and all that good stuff, but I'm not in that camp. First of all, I'm completely excited with the lineup we have this year. I was completely excited with the E3 that they showed last year, but I feel that with this year's E3, they're going to go beyond. They're going to show what they have in the future.
They have no choice, dude.
They need to. But you know, I think
Sony's got so many games that they're pushing shit already next year.
Xbox. The one thing that's key about your sentence that you kind of had to break down, and you're not wrong, and your feelings are your own. But you said I'm excited for this year's lineup. You're excited for what was last year's lineup, and we're getting it this year. So the thing about it is that's the problem, right? Because that's what you're saying. We have to see what's going to be coming in the future because what we're playing this year is what we were supposed to play last year.
Yeah, and not only that, but a lot of the stuff that they showed, like I played Deep Rock Galactic. It's okay. You know what I mean? I'm downloading the Darwin Project. That's another one.
It was all right, but like you said,
it's okay. It's gonna it'll probably be okay. But those aren't, to me, like that same thing with like State of Decay. And I told this to Mooch, right? I'm looking forward to that game, but that's a side dish. I want my meal.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. I'm a big I want my meal.
Yeah, no, I see. Look, let me just say this, and this is. You know, I don't want to, be like the podcast that just kind of dumped all over Microsoft.
Somebody said, "Wait till PAX."
That dude's been going at it. He's been like, "Wait till first game."
No, hang on. Wait.
Go ahead.
I got a better one. Wait till Gamescom.
Yeah.
Well, let Boom finish his thought, and then we'll move on to another subject.
Right. This will be it. This is going to be the evening regarding my bashing of Microsoft. I don't think I'm a marketing genius, but I'm going to say this, and I doubt anyone from the Microsoft team is going to hear me, the retired guy that no one gives a shit about. Okay, whatever you guys did from 2013 to 2017, it doesn't work. So this year, whatever you're gonna do, it freaking better be different because I'm telling you right now.
Hold on, before 2017.
Boom is suggesting the return of Donnie D.
I'm suggesting. This is what I don't get here. This is what I don't get. All right, we had one bad year. All right, when it comes to games and exclusives. Now all of a sudden, Boom is saying from 2013 to 2017, what they're doing doesn't work.
Dude,
I'm sorry. Hold on. I liked Sea of Thieves. I liked Ori and the Blind Forest. I liked all the Forests that came out. I liked the Gears experience. I liked the Halo that came out. Like I'm saying, there was so much that came out between 2013 to the end of 2016. Now 2017, and everybody on this panel is saying, They
Everybody.
did absolutely everything
one-
wrong.
Hold on.
Come on, man.
I'm an innocent
everyone
woman. I'm just sitting by.
It was just easier to say. It was easier to say that than everybody on the.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
They had a shit lineup in 2017, and that's I mean, it is what it is. Sony had. Nobody's really comparing it to Sony because Sony had multiple shit.
I'm not comparing it to Sony. I'm looking at it as its own experience.
But
no
you
one
also have to look.
remembers.
You have
No
to
one
look at.
remembers the good shit. They remember the bad shit. You got.
Yeah, it's like the main thing is this for me is the preparedness, right? When you
People
release
remember
that
only the
console,
bad shit. That's a you problem.
no, when you release a $500 console, and you damn well better have stuff that's going to take advantage of it. And to date, they don't. All right, I'm sorry, they just don't. They need to have shit to ready to go. And I'm sorry, but if there's no Halo this year, that's a fucking misstep.
Yes.
Well,
You gotta have your
I'm in the boat with you.
I know you gotta have your flagship franchise ready to go, 4K, 60 frames per second, melting eyeballs.
Yes.
And that's something you have to kind of understand. Xbox. This is not a rain on. We're all
It's
Xbox
not. I
fans.
like
I play Xbox. I play Xbox
Sea of Thieves,
99.8%
I'm
of
streaming
the
that
time.
after the show tonight, man. I'm fucking psyched.
But my thing is this: if a day one Xbox One is going to be playing Sea of Thieves the way we've been playing the beta, which it is, okay, and now you have a 6 teraflop beast, like that's a problem that we don't have anything to play on that. Like the fact that Crackdown
that's going enhanced. People shit themselves with excitement over the Xbox One enhanced games that they already were launched like a year or two.
Yeah, but we're playing
and stuff
360
like that.
enhanced and we're playing third party enhanced.
But then where was it last week when you were cheering for that? And now everybody's saying, well, like that's fucking stupid. And
It's
we
not
want something new.
There's two different types of cheering, right? There's cheering for like when you get cereal in the morning, then there's cheering when there's bacon and eggs. You know what I'm saying? There's two different cheerings, dude. You're like, I'm cheering because they're giving us something for nothing. That's great. I love I'm a mooch. I love free shit. But like at the same time, I want my bacon and eggs. So I mean, don't get me wrong, Xbox. You're not wrong, and you're not wrong for feeling that way. I kind of see where you're coming from, but you do got to say, you the consumer, which you make very good arguments for. You went out and bought that $500 beast. And you're playing Horizon and Witcher 2. And it's like, that's not what we signed up for.
First off, I'm not playing Witcher 2. Right?
No, none of us are. But no, listen, let's move on to it. Let's move on to another one real quick. I want to
point out in the chat real quick that just to point this out, I prefer Xbox's lineup this year to Sony's, especially when we get the official announcement of Forza Horizon 4. That's usually my pick for game of the year when a Horizon game comes out. So the fact that this one's supposedly in Japan with the HDR
that sounds
Sea of Thieves, which everybody knows for the past year I've been saying is my most anticipated title. So Sony could come out with Uncharted 8, God of War 6, Gran Turismo reboot that actually is good, Ratchet and Clank 6, and it wouldn't matter because I would still say Xbox's lineup was better because Sea of Thieves and Forza Horizon 4 trumps all of that shit for me. So it's not a salt thing for me. I'm getting God of War. On Sony's side, we only are confirmed Detroit, which I have no interest in. God of War, which I have the collector's edition pre-ordered.
Yep.
What else is there confirmed for this year? Maybe Spider-Man.
We don't know. Spider-Man is at this point. Listen, I put it to this way: with Days Gone being delayed, which I think we're gonna.
Days Gone being
that's
delayed,
where I wanted to
it looks
go
better
into.
for Spider-Man, to be honest with you.
When though, man? Because
we
look,
don't
you
know.
got Call of Duty coming out in October now.
It's got a big Western pull, and if I worked for Sony, I would release it in the holidays. But I know that's a little bit taboo on the PlayStation.
That's not when I would
I
release
was thinking Days Gone was further along than what Spider-Man was.
No,
that's what I thought.
I've been saying that for months now.
But Xbox, you have to understand, they showed a 20-minute segment on at E3.
They showed you the same segment, one in spring and one in winter.
Right.
Seriously.
I hear you. And I'm not saying you're wrong there, but like Pred just said, Spider-Man, that QTE thing we saw that everybody was drooling over, that could have been something that was put together by Stan Lee. Like, I mean, that was just like a comic book reel with a couple of QTEs. When
it comes down to Insomniac in terms of them as developers, they are stand-up guys. They're talking that it's.
I'm a big fan of Insomniac. Yeah.
This year is their target. They're pretty confident right now, and I feel that with Days Gone, going to 2019, basically, like I said, it was going to do all them months ago. Spider-Man, it looks more and more solid that Spider-Man will come out this year, and I'm pegging it for holiday this year. So,
well, it's the only thing they're gonna have. So yeah, that's a good choice because.
But when you tag Spider-Man as the name on that, and Insomniac's the one that's doing it,
when would it come out? I mean, you're saying holiday, but there's already games. Supposedly, the newest rumor is the new Elder Scrolls is going to release this holiday. I mean, you really going to put that up, Spider-Man up against Elder Scrolls game?
You can put Spider-Man up against anything, dude.
I don't think you can, man. Put it up. Hey, put it up against Red Dead 2. Let me know how that goes.
Yeah, look at Call of Duty
moving
moving its stage. Look at Call of Duty moving its stage.
Call of Duty moved to ahead of Red Dead. Yeah, exactly. I've never seen Call of Duty, especially when they've got Treyarch made Call of Duty, by the way.
And it's Black Ops.
Black Ops 4 is a massive title.
Which is the fan favorite.
Yes.
They're different fan bases.
And there's also going to be a new Battlefield.
Spider-Man would have to come out in September.
Yo, since when are these development teams all of a sudden scared shitless over third party? I don't get this, man. We've been talking about this for a couple years now. You know what? Drop the Halo,
crap an Xbox,
drop the Spider-Man in the holidays.
Quick, that I had heard that God of War, the big hubbub and wait for that to get a release date was they were waiting to see what Red Dead 2 was doing because it was supposed to release in the spring.
Right.
Yeah. And you noticed that we didn't get a God of War release date until Red Dead 2.
That's right.
That's so stupid, man.
Dude, look, you think so, Xbox, but look what happened.
I'm saying on the developer side, crap. I'm saying,
I hear you.
But listen, look what happened to Alan Wake. That game released the same day as Red Dead 1, and then we never got a sequel. It totally flopped.
Yeah.
You know, like you got to be careful when you release your games because the mind share is very much Red Dead.
Yes.
Right? You got to remember the casual gamer is buying Red Dead 2. They're buying Black Ops. They're buying Battlefield 5. Okay, these things that are all been announced.
If you're going to go up against the big time, like third party multiplats and stuff like that, then put up enough in the development, like a Halo or a Gears that can stand up to the third party and stop pussyfooting around and
you
put
got
everything you can into your game.
They do. They release Halo and Gears in the holidays.
They do.
That's why I said those are things that can stand, man.
The only month that they could release Spider-Man this year, in my opinion, would be September.
That's it.
Yeah, that would be the only
early
month.
September. And if Insomniac's not ready, they're not going to. It's going to be in the spring.
Yeah.
And then
the fact
Sony
that they
will have
hired a
heavy
game
spring
director this year for that game, that's usually something you hire kind of early on. I mean, pre-making the game, actually, like just I don't know. So I would say if it's
DLC already, though, man,
maybe. I mean, I hope it comes out this year. Otherwise, it's just a God of War year for me on PS4.
Well, let's get into this since we're talking about Call of Duty. I kind of want to get into a little bit of Battlefield 5 being they broke the news on it.
Already dead,
right? Yeah, and I'm with you there. And the reason is this is what I put into the topics here. In my personal opinion, for me, Battlefield as it never was. I'm Call of Duty. I've been more of a. I'm sorry, guys. I am. That's the way it is. But in all honesty, I think Battlefield being World War II this year. I'm not saying they're going to do a great job with it. They're going to do a fantastic job with it.
It's a miss, though.
I think we're all boots on the ground out. I think it's over. You know what I mean?
I don't think it's boots on the ground. It's just they went World War I, now going World War II after Call of Duty went World War II. I think that's a little bit of a misstep. People,
except for the historians of the world. World War I and World War II feel very similar in the video game world. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I mean,
you know, we didn't have flying cars and Marty McFly auto Nikes back then.
I mean, look, I'm excited to see what Call of Duty has to offer. Boots on the ground supposedly is supposed to be modern day, right? Modern Black Ops. So that sounds amazing to me. Boots on the ground, no jetpacks and jump packs and.
I'm not a jetpack kind of.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, like, I'm with you, but
I was playing Call of Duty World War II the other day with like Fox and Grave and them and Noof, and it's a lot of fun, you know, just boots on the ground, having a good time. The only problem with that game is PUBG's crack. You know, or else I would have put much more time into it.
Yeah, no, I do think PUBG put it down.
Needs to stay. Like, and I'm a huge military video game enthusiast. Like Battlefield, that complete franchise just needs to stay modern day.
Yeah.
They do better with that. I mean, because Battlefield 4 was amazing. Like,
it was. Yeah. I mean, it had.
You know what? Yeah, I'll agree with that. Battlefield 4 was pretty damn good.
It was fantastic game. Yes. Yeah. Well said, Brad.
Yeah, it was really good.
With everybody coming out with going back now instead of going forward into the future, like it doesn't have to be like just modern day, like as of today, but they could go a little bit into the future with no crazy futuristic weapons or something like that, but just make up a completely different like World War III story or something like that with Battlefield. I think that'd been fine, but going back to World War II, just basically following on the footsteps of Call of Duty is kind of like a step back, I think, to them. but at least it's Battlefield and it's not like, the other stupid police game they made a while back. I'm happy that at least back in
Oh yes, Hardline.
So yeah, because I was afraid it was going to be Hardline too. I was really like hyping that.
I actually was hoping that the rumor was true about it being a Bad Company game, because I don't know if you guys played the first two. They were fantastic.
Yeah, people were wanting Bad Company 3 to be the game this year.
Yes.
And I think that's a big misstep. I mean, these games are done 3 years in advance. So it wasn't like they heard this and heard the hype behind it and they were like, no, we went this way. They made this decision a while ago. My whole thing with going World War II is World War I was done last year. World War II was done last year. Now they're going to do World War II. It's going to kind of just feel like, and I'm not even comparing it to Call of Duty. It's a different animal, guys. I mean, Pred, you got to be with me on that, right? Military-wise and everything.
You're comparing steak with Worcestershire sauce to steak with ketchup. Like at the end of the day, more people are going to eat steak with ketchup because it's a wider age range.
I would have went steak and ground beef, but nonetheless.
Battlefield is more of an open world.
Hey, I used to eat steak with ketchup when I was a kid. Yeah.
My parents wouldn't let me use the A1. They're like, nah, you don't deserve that. You
don't deserve
I just think going from World War I for Battlefield into World War II, it's almost going to feel like DLC. You know what I mean?
It feels like you're getting more of the same.
More of the same.
They had horses, though. Horses.
Yeah, those horses. That was
I'd be more interested.
That was a mooch repellent.
If they didn't screw us over and not give us
Hey, speaking of mooch repellents,
X update, it's ridiculous.
Speaking of mooch repellents, though, crap. Let's get into something that Boom is literally drooling for, and Def Jam Bam took the night off.
Let me see. Let me get my. You're not a has been. You're a never was.
Never was. Yes, please get that ready. The Division 2.
Yes.
The Division 2 is announced, and here's the thing. Let me just put this out there.
Division 1 sucked before.
But
what makes you think you want more?
Well, here's what I want to give the audience a little bit of background, because everyone always says this. I've been very vocal on anti-division for about a year or so.
Yes,
so I was pro-division more than anyone else for a long period of time.
That original week.
And 30 days.
What a week.
But then it just died and fizzled out. Now they're saying they learned from their mistakes, but we have heard this before from developers. And I don't think, I'm sorry, I'm very sorry, but I don't think any of the advancements, except for maybe the latest one, the very latest one, the one coming out in April, except for the ones that are just coming out, I don't think anything they've done to the game has made it any better than what it was supposed to be promised to us from day one. I understand you're still having fun, right? Because I can't talk crap into Fortnite. I can't talk Boom off of that. I don't either. What is it you're doing in that? And when are they going to get rid of the bullet sponges? So now, Boom, let me turn the mic to you, because you are the resident Division 2 expert here. I mean, what is it that the Division 2 that you've read, which has been very little out there?
Yeah, that's got you.
Right. But what's got you excited that they could change, or they're promising to change?
Well, look, here's the thing. Now, there's a lot of things that have me excited about the game, because the changes that came in a lot of the updates. You got to remember this game. Yes, it launched in the same state as Vanilla Destiny, where you got to a specific point and there was just nothing to do. Right? I mean, you just felt like you were kind of just aimlessly running around shooting people. Same guy with the shield, same shotgun guy. They changed a lot to make the game fun in regards to finding gear, your getting your gear score up, inventing new types of gear. The gadgets haven't really changed. I mean, I'm excited for that. I want to see what they're going to do in regards to the gadgets. If you remember in the video that they showed where they had those drones that were flying around, you can control. I believe those are going to be coming back in the second one.
Okay.
But what has me, really, grinding at the bit here is we don't know where it's going to be. Is it going to be an extension of New York? Are we going to see Queens?
We were promised more boroughs. We were promised Long Island and the Park.
I got one for you. We not only were we promised Central Park, but we were also promised Rikers Island.
Right.
Weren't we promised more story DLC and shit?
Yes.
Yeah, there was a lot of stuff that was supposed to come, and
we got horde mode.
What if they put that in this? What if they put that in the second game? Are you guys going to be mad?
Well, I'm going to still be excited for it, but I want to know whether or not this virus has gone outside of New York. See, that's what I want to know. Are we going to go to Detroit? Are we going to go to Chicago? Are we going to Paris? I don't know.
Let me put it this way. It would be in the game's best interest to move it to another city.
Yes.
Now, me being selfish, I want it to stay in New York, because the game that I couldn't wait, that they got so good at being so graphic, right? I mean, the city looks great in that game.
It does. It's okay. Listen, some of the places that I've actually been to, I was standing there on patrol. So I mean, they really went out of their way to make like real deep places.
And that's what if you're going to do the Division, make the Division centric around New York. Continue the story the way it was originally promised. Do Rikers Island, do the boroughs, expand out, keep it where it is. First of all, they already have so much of that artwork already done that they can fine tune to make it look nasty. It can look awesome. That's what I want them to do. I'm really hoping we don't see that they move. Someone was like, hey, put it in San Fran where we've got, like a 3-story building.
Wait, did they have that voice?
Yeah, they did. Put it in San Fran. Put it in the tallest building's a 3-floor like office building lot.
Oh, no.
I love that grittiness. That like when you think that like the old like when Ed Koch was the mayor in New York. Okay, when the garbage cans were piled up on the side before Giuliani got there. But that was that gritty Batman. Like that was that Tim Burton Batman.
Yes,
New York, like Gotham City.
Yeah.
I really wanted to get into the Division, but I never.
Listen, all right, I'm gonna come out there and say Blue, but I gotta say Blue. You know what? I'm ready for the Division 2. I'm gonna try it, and I just hope that they don't let us down again. They have such potential.
Here's the part with the Division that was great, right? I played it with Hellhammer and Grave, and it was cool. You played through the story together. I love that. Yes. I thought that's what we were going to get. Constant updates like that, stories. They were like, we're going to have this story and this story. And we were like, cool. And I liked the Dark Zone. It was cool. But you know what the problem was? You go in the Dark Zone, and everybody was like, Microsoft. Yeah. They lighten their Unity candles. Kumbaya. Nobody would shoot each other. They were afraid to lose their own shit, so you go in there.
That was in the beginning, and
now it's
dude, you can't even walk in that motherfucker. Like,
and then it was like, and then like this is the problem also with like Destiny and that game. You had to have a certain kind of a level of shit, or you get slaughtered.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
It got so confusing. Like after like 1.5, like there were so many different gear sets and different like that. That's what kind of drove me away from, because I played it all the way up until like 1.5, 1.6, and once they started adding all these other fire crests and also these weird, I won't say weird gear sets, but like you had to actually study the game to understand like what sets work with what people.
Yeah, you had to strategically put your sets together. I mean, like for instance, like I'm running a 4-piece fire crest right now that gives me advantages with fire and stuff. There's a lot of work that goes into making a character. And for the Dark Zone, listen, it is violent in there. And if you're by yourself, now I got to level 70 almost by myself. Which is ridiculous because I was getting robbed by 12-year-olds because you can hear them when you're close. Like, hey man, that guy's by himself. Let's go rob him. And so I got robbed and jumped.
They're like, those are some nice shoes.
Exactly. Yeah,
it was jacked by kids.
Yeah, all the time. It's unbelievable. When it's 4-on-1, you're not gonna win.
I know.
Listen, the one thing I really hope that they add, and I don't know if you can, because you really have to open up the map. I would like some sort of vehicles, because really running from point A to B, it's just sometimes the running is like, you should be getting gold medals in the Olympics. You run so much in that game. I mean, really, it's unbelievable.
That's a valid request though, to have. Like, I think it's funny, back when fast travel was just becoming a thing in games years and years and years ago, I'm like, this is stupid. This is like, that's taking part of the game out. And then I'm like, thank God there's fast travel. Like, I mean, whether it be vehicles or fast travel, however they want to deem it worthy, just try to make it make sense. Like that's something I think it's important. And there's a lot of people in the chat that kind of feel like we were just saying, like that the essence of this game and the artwork is built around New York, right? Listen, every time they tell the story, it's like, this is New York and blah, 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 blah. To be able to just go Division 2, now in Atlanta.
Right.
Like what happened in New York?
Well, you know what I'm hoping happens with this game is exactly what happened with Assassin's Creed 1 to 2. Where 1 came out and everyone was like, okay, this is good. Graphics are nice, but it sucks. And then 2 came out and everyone was like, wait a second. They really learned from what they did. That's what I'm hoping really happens.
That's what I'm hearing from the devs. but I'm hoping we see it come true.
Yes,
on paper, on the big screen, if you will. In
this game is what, 2 years old? I mean, like they've been working on this game.
Yeah, three
came out in
years
15.
Old. Yeah, it came out 15.
They've been supporting this game for a long time, so it's and they still have stuff coming out. So
yeah, they have 2 more updates coming, 2 more big gigantic updates before they're done, and that's when 2 is going to come out.
Now,
which means you won't see Division 2 till 2020.
I think Division 2 is going to come out next year.
I do. I think March. I called it March 25th. I tweeted it out.
Well, let's look at Ubisoft's record. What's their record of announcing and then coming out? Did Far Cry get announced last year?
Yes, it did.
And you know what? Listen, Pred, I kind of, when you said that, I was thinking, he's right, and maybe it'll even be next generation consoles.
God, I hope not.
But then I'm thinking to myself, wait a minute, if you do have to look at the publisher and their record. Like Bethesda. Bethesda's like, hey, it's coming out tomorrow. Right.
Assassin's Creed get delayed?
Did Assassin's Creed get delayed? It has not been delayed until the year that they took off.
Right, they took the year off. Yes.
Rainbow Six.
So they've been.
Ghost Recon got delayed.
Did it?
Yes.
It did. It got delayed.
But
And they released it in March.
To their credit, they said they're going to release less games and focus more on, like, everybody gives Microsoft shit for games as a service, but Ubisoft's games are all games as a service now. And that's like the model that they plan on going with. I mean, it works good. It works well for them. Like what was that? Rainbow Six Siege is like constantly growing. And
dude, that's a game that launched to really poor reviews, and it's just it's incredible.
I mean, I will say I am impressed with the Division with the amount of content that they keep providing, and this game that really did fall into the trenches, and they built it back up to get their community to come.
The problem is that like so much of the community left.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is anyone else like me and planning to actually revisit the Division once the 1X enhanced update
once
drops?
it gets enhanced, I'll hop on it, but it's going to be like I'll go in there.
I still got to beat the game, man.
Yeah, I'll see that I'm like low level and shit.
Boom!
And,
I'm asking you to go through it with me because I actually want to go through with somebody.
Me and my brother have already been talking about this. Def Jam Bam is already on board for this. Yeah.
Well, if I get you 3 on there, we'll all have to get Division tattoos by the end of it. Listen.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, they're really into it, Blue. Let me tell you.
Listen, did you see my cosplay that I did?
Of course, I saw it.
I put that out today. I was like, yes, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it again. I love it. Listen, I love the Division. You
know what's great? Here's what I love about Boom. Not only did he put it on, take a picture of it, but he drew a line on the ground. And he's like, I'm stepping over it on my own. Okay. So that was
funny?
awesome.
You're talking about this, and there's a big smile on my face because right in front of me on my desk is the art of Tom Clancy's Division right in front of me.
Nice. No, listen, the essence of it, the art, the story that they've built, it all holds water. And for some reason, the gameplay just shit the bed, I think, at some point.
They definitely need to do a little. I mean, they have to be real tactical.
Because Boom, you remember when that first came out? It was we would be like, "Hey, Boom, what did you get?" And you're like, "Oh, I just got this great. I just got this great gun. What level is it? Oh, it's a 60,972. What? What are you at? Oh, I'm only at 3,943. You got a lot to do, bro. You got a lot to do. And I'm like, oh my God. It was like a math problem to do even when you were doing the
different colors. Hey, I'm purple. I'm blue.
I'm gold. I'm this.
Gold. Like, yeah, that was ridiculous.
And your whole headquarters was built before you were even level 30. It was all, I'm like, that's it. We're done. They're like, you're done. Like, I thought that was the whole essence of it, was to get this thing.
I was really disappointed that we didn't get the different parts and different stories like we were supposed to.
Yeah, there were supposed to be different parts of the city. Queens was definitely one of them. They were talking about parts of Brooklyn that was supposed to be there. Like I said, Rikers Island was another one that was going to be a big.
And we didn't get any of that.
We didn't get anything. I mean,
we'll get it in Division 2.
Calaboldo says, it did not mooch any hard game. It's bad. No, I prefer a challenging game. That's my whole thing. Like, I don't mind a challenging game. But when you make something awfully tedious for no reason, no good reason in a game, then I kind of have a problem with that. You know what I mean? Like I said, there was no reason when I'm asking the guy in my group, hey, what level is your gun? And there's a comma involved. Like, why? What's wrong with 1 through 100? Why do we have to be like 4,332? What is it? What? Why am I doing long division to figure out what kind of gun I got to upgrade to? This is ridiculous.
You know what really pissed me off about that game is like you'll be like the NPCs, like you'll be shooting them, right? Like loading clips in them, and they're just running with a baseball bat, and they don't even stop. They just keep coming. Like
They come right at you.
Fall down or something. Like, give me a chance to reload my weapon.
Or you know
like,
what? Make the enemy wear like turbo amounts of like armor and shielding. So at least while you're pegging them with 6,000 clips of bullets, it looks like you're denting it.
Hit the like button. You get 500 people watching and 150 likes. Jesus,
hit that like button, folks. You guys are loving it. Listen, guys, I do want to talk about this because we're getting close to the 2-hour mark here. Xbox, we touched on it, but then we went right over it. Inside Xbox is coming out, tomorrow. Their first episode, right? And this, everyone's talking about it like it's the next Nintendo Direct. I hope so, Boom, and it's fine. What do you guys think? Myself personally, I'm walking into it thinking that's what it is, and I think I'm going to walk out thinking it's just one of those Larry Herb Friday
disappointed. You're going to be disappointed.
Right on it, dude.
I would not be
Alan, what do you got?
Don't expect anything like. And here's this brand new game coming. You're not going to You're going to get Sea of Thieves, State of Decay 2, Far Cry 5. They're going to be goofing around, and he's going to be like, I'm Xbox Major Nelson, Larry Herb, blah, blah, blah. And then, you're going to have the rest of
Alan,
if you heard it,
maybe they can go back and show some Crackdown demolition and multiplayer in their first show.
True. Would you say, Blue?
I wish they would just have other people.
Well, that's what we were saying, and I'm so glad you brought that up because I don't want to always sound like the broken
They are going to
record.
be other people on there, by the way.
It's time for Major Nelson to retire.
I'm kind of sick of Major Nelson's face. Can no one shoot me, please? Thanks.
They need to hire Xbox 448 for his position, and we'll be okay. All right.
That's so funny.
I don't have anything against Larry. I just think like they need somebody else to be in that position doing what he's trying to do.
Exactly. And I just want to say it on Crossfire. I said it on Xbox
Larry's
Nation.
off the camera, when he's off the camera, he is a real dick. Yeah. I'm saying.
I saw him at the Xbox One X launch party. Okay. First, he had this face of just like, grr, I don't want to be out here in the cold. Grr. And then all of a sudden the camera turned on and he was like, hi, I'm Major Nelson. I was like, wow, that was the greatest turnaround I've ever seen.
Yeah, the word on the street is he's not a fan of the people. He's not a people person. But the thing about it is he does bust his ass as far as what he does for work. What I've said was Larry should still be the executive producer. He should be behind the camera.
Yes,
he
I
should
agree.
call all the shots behind the camera. Let somebody like that Benny Central, and I know that Benny's co-host that crap was telling me the girl is going to be on there, but she's great too. But have the younger faces that are up there and get people vibrant and ready for Xbox news to come out and this and that.
Right? The person I hope we see a lot of on that show is actually AC Bongos. I could tell you he is one of the nicest people in the industry.
Now, here's the thing, though, Alan, and I'm glad you brought that up because that was the first name that came up on Xbox Nation. I think AC Bongos is absolutely one of the nicest people ever, too. I really do. I think he's kind. I think he's a people person. I don't think he's great as a host.
I think he makes a good host. Yeah. I think him and Larry do make good hosts together. I do.
We're talking about gaming and being like this, right? I don't know, Here, Larry's still wearing those Magnum PI shirts. You know what I mean? He's got to you need a younger look up there for your show. And I think that that's something that's important. Now you're probably going to turn around and say, well, Mooch, Nintendo Direct doesn't do that all the time. And you're right. They don't. But I just think that because Xbox is in this situation they're in, and they're doing this because they're trying to compete with the Nintendo Directs of the world, they need to do something a little bit different than they're doing. And I don't know if Larry's going to do that difference. We all feel like we're walking in the same show.
The thing about the show is it's less about who's hosting it and more about the content they show. And my worry about it is, you're not really going to be seeing new announcements on it. It's more like a preview show of what's coming up over the next, 4 weeks.
Absolutely. What do you think, Xbot? What are we going to say?
Well, no, I was going to say everything that you're describing is me to a T. Come on, man. I vape and everything. I can get in front of the camera with my sub on and talk about games.
That's the worst thing you could do, OG Mac. Let's not do that.
I think he's kidding. I hope, crap.
I'm hoping that they really they really do something with this show, because for I don't know how many years now, ever since the PlayStation experience started, people are like, well, Xbox needs their own show and stuff like that. But instead of having one show a year, if they put out a quality show per month and really give you new information about the platform and about the games, that would be a great answer to people who are asking for their own kind of like Xbox experience. And I hope they really paid attention to the community, because this is one time. You know me, I'm like, you don't listen to the community all the time. This is one time where they really need to listen to the community and have their own show where they put out their new information. Like I said, new information.
Well, here's the thing. What if they took that portion of the E3 show last year that they had to cram down our throat really quick, where they showed Ashen and they showed that other pixelated game that was kind of fun, that like Jamie Moran tweets it all the time. He's like, please give me that game now. Those are the games. Like, why not do like show those again to us that are coming to Xbox console exclusive or Xbox first? You know, whatever. Those are the games. At least it's new to our eyes, and it's like Crap said. It's not just Sea of Thieves, Crackdown 3, State of Decay. We know that's coming. But go ahead, Alan.
You know, I was just going to say, like, it would be great because sometimes, you know, I feel bad saying this, but I always find the indie game sections at E3, they kind of drag on a bit. So it's like, if they could have that content in Inside Xbox and focus on showing the big AAA games at E3, their first-party exclusives, I feel that will go down pretty well with fans.
Well, I'd like to say to MT and Morlesco, let me tell you something, buddy. I would love to do it because I think sometimes, you know, you like Blue said, okay, the one thing that Larry does do well is he's on when the camera's on. I think you need somebody that's on, off, and on the camera, because that's the thing when you're at events and you get amped and people word of mouth travels, and Blue's not the only one to say this. We know a lot of people. Go ahead, Crap.
I was just gonna say, I think they just need somebody a little bit hipper.
Yes.
Yeah, that's where I'm going with this. They need somebody a little bit, you know,
somebody
hipper,
that maybe actually game. Like, I guess he games a little bit, but I mean, somebody, you know, like a real, I don't know, someone that kind of can resonate.
Well, you know what's funny? Nuke said get Alana from IGN. I say get somebody that maybe is a face.
No, please.
Jesus.
Absolutely get Alana, but that's
I have to be honest, I haven't watched an IGN Daily Fix.
Well, she's not even doing the fix anymore. The last two have been our buddy Damon Hatfield and his little beanie.
Yeah, well, I don't watch any of them. Since
somebody said Cuphead girl needs to be doing.
Cuphead girl.
Oh, he just had to say, you little.
I did. I'll be a perv.
What happens in chat stays in chat. Thank you.
I'll be that guy.
I'll be that guy.
Oh God.
You know, watch that shit every month. I'll TiVo that shit.
Oh gosh.
I mean, I'm excited to see it, but I hope that they have like actual announcements in there.
Yes. Yeah. That's actually where I was going to go with next.
And not just like, okay, well, here's what's releasing this week. Well, we already knew that. Didn't Larry already do a weekly show called This is Xbox or something?
He did it today. And I'm thinking to myself, why would you do today's show and you're doing it tomorrow?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. If he already has that, why does he also need to be this? You know what I mean? Like, I mean, it would be a great opportunity for him to. He could be on there and kind of sort of like it's a great opportunity for the first episode for him to introduce someone new. You know what I mean? Right? This is a great chance for that.
Blue, Xbox and Microsoft, they're trying to work Larry Herb until he dies is what's going on. Man.
Well, you know what I like, the ideology behind the show is great because they don't have a situation where they can control their own narrative, right? The narrative for Microsoft has been negative, and that's been controlled by the media. The reason why I'm like I said, half glass full kind of a guy. Yeah. I would like to believe that when they do this show, they are going to be able to control their own narrative, and they need to do that with games. What has been the biggest Achilles heel for Microsoft has been the no games mantra that's been stuck to the console, right? I mean, they have no games. It's no games. It's no games. But if they have a segment or a section of this show that's gonna, I don't want to see the State of Decay.
Games need to be the majority of the show, man. Not a segment.
No, but hold on a second. Yes, they do. Okay, and they're probably going to be. What I'm referring to is they need to be able to, once being that this show is only once a month, that game that they're showing has to be a new game every month. Okay, yeah. if you want to tell me about devs, you want to show me some behind the scenes dev stuff of Sea of Thieves or whatever else, fine. I'll look at it and I'll be interested because I don't.
Boom, you have a point because Nintendo Direct has shown. Even if they just listen, this is what somebody said. And if it was crap, if it was you, take credit for it. I don't care who takes credit for it. They were saying even with Nintendo Direct, like even when they didn't even show the game, even when they not this past one, but the one before it, they're like and. Metroid 4, bye, we're out. You know, I was like, what just happened? They just put a Metroid 4. It didn't even show anything.
Right, and people went crazy.
Everybody lost their mind. So, you know, like at the end of this thing or something like that, maybe they have Perfect Dark. See you later. You know, it's like, oh, whoa. I can't wait. I guess we'll talk about it for 3 months.
All this shit leaks anyway, so you might as well just announce it and then go, we're going to show gameplay at E3, or we'll have a trailer at E3.
Yeah.
Right? Like, because all this shit's going to come out anyway.
Good
Microsoft
point.
doesn't comment on rumors. That's what we get.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what? We've been like, again, I'm happy we're getting the games we're getting this year. But let's be honest, the games we're getting this year are just games that we should have got previous years.
Well, that's what somebody, I think Xbot was saying that. Somebody in the chat goes, Mooch, if we got the games that were coming out this year or last year, what will we be playing this year? I'm like, what we played last year.
Yeah,
it just flip-flopped.
You know what though? Again, not to defend Microsoft, but if this is a Sony person saying that, don't get yourself, don't forget to look in the mirror, because every game that you're playing this year was delayed from 8 years ago.
Right. That's true. That is true.
That's how we add like years to this every time we talk about.
We do.
Like,
well, listen, Fred, that's only fair because every time we talk about Xbox sales, we go in the minus.
Right.
Right. Last week we were at 36. This week, currently, Xbox sales are at 32. And an angel lost its wings.
For the last 3 years, we've been at 32.
But, yo, Mooch, I like what you're saying about fleshing out the games like that they showed in the past E3, like the actions and stuff like that. Yeah. And then if you highlight it with, because a lot of people have been asking to see like where that multiplayer for Crackdown is right now. There's a lot of questions out there. Are they going to use the cloud and all this stuff? So if they highlight it in that show and show where that multiplayer is now and show that it's working and everything, it would be a huge hit, man.
No,
I don't want to see Crackdown at E3. Do a beta. Let people experience it for themselves. It's going in Game Pass anyway. Put it out for $30. I think that's the only chance Crackdown 3 has of doing anything, to be honest with you. Yeah. Not because I don't think it's going to be a good game, but look, here's the problem. Again, it goes back to Microsoft's first party. You've got so many hands in the pot stirring this, right? What is 3-4 developers creating this? And some kind of tech that's really untested. Although it is a little bit tested now. Like that game was announced way too early.
Right.
You also get the fatigue of seeing it multiple times. Right. This is why I wouldn't expect Sony to show Days Gone this E3.
No, I hope not.
Which they will.
No, I don't think they can.
They will. And Death Stranding. Death Stranding.
You will see.
Well, we have
Death
Stranding gameplay, so that's why we could see Death Stranding gameplay. Like we've seen weird CGI, but we haven't actually seen any gameplay. We don't even know what the gameplay is. It could be a QTE game. It could be a SOCOM or a XCOM.
It's going to look like Metal Gear Solid 5.
It's a simulated card game.
Flying simulator.
It could be anything. It could be damn near anything. Who the hell knows?
Could be Baby Simulator.
Yeah.
Alan, what are you hearing? Have you heard anything about this inside Xbox? Are we just going to see what we've already seen?
I think something I can offer in terms of insight that might be interesting is that Microsoft did actually email all those media folks a press release about it, and that suggests that they wanted us to cover it but also to watch it. So clearly they have some stuff cooking up for it, but I'm just not expecting huge announcements. I'm not expecting anything groundbreaking. I think there might be some newsworthy stuff from it, but that'll be about it.
What about a Crackdown 3 release date?
That would be nice. Like if they were to do something on that, like announce a beta date, announce a release date.
Great point, Boom. That would be something to walk away with. I mean, even though it's the same thing, to get a release date crap. I mean, like I know, and Rand, I don't know if Rand's still in the chat. Rand was in the chat before. Rand is still on notice of saying August 15th is when he thinks Crackdown 3 comes out.
It'll be August as well. August for Crackdown. September.
It's a smart month to release.
Yep, absolutely.
It's got no competition that we're aware of.
Right.
And you can get your fill of it all the way till October, right? I mean, and it doesn't interfere with Microsoft's envisionment for Forza Horizon 4 in September.
Yeah.
Exactly. I think August is a really good time for them to launch Crackdown and run a beta, maybe even in June.
Yeah, I had heard that there's a beta that we're going to get to play, so I'm not sure if it's a
multiplayer crap.
Yeah, multiplayer. Yeah, of course.
Well, yeah,
single player is done. It's been done. I guess they're tightening it up or whatever, but it's still just going to look like Crackdown. It's like I don't know what people expect.
Now saying August for Crackdown with a beta launching at E3.
Shout out to Rand. That dude has been hitting home runs when it comes to these
Rand,
dates, man.
It's funny though, and Rand will be on next week. I'll tell you right now, Rand, he was kind of right on target with those. I haven't seen an E3 announcement where they're like, go home and do that now. I think the last time I saw that was the arcadey version of Dead Rising 3. that they put out,
well,
right?
Well, to be fair, I'll point out I did a video earlier this year saying we would get a Crackdown 3 beta, multiplayer beta.
You think you get it at E3?
I don't know. I mean, it could be at E3, but I
think they'll drop one at E3.
Yeah, but the reason why is because they're not going to market their shit just like they don't market anything else, and so they want people to play it and stream it,
right?
And kind of get the word out that way, and so that's what they're going to do. And same thing with like, I don't think it's just a really interesting setup for Microsoft's exclusives this year. Aside from Forza Horizon 4 and Sea of Thieves.
I'm still devastated that we're not getting a Halo 6. I think that's a gigantic miss.
Well,
it's a huge.
It's a miss, but hey,
I saw the writing. Lesson trying to force that shit on people.
Hey, everybody's been saying
Master Chief.
I just want to say I might as well join the parade, right? Everyone's like, "Oh, I've been saying this on my video. I don't do videos. I do podcasts, and nobody records these and remembers them." But here's the thing: I said there was no Halo 6 coming this year, and I was tarred and feathered. And now
I was one of them.
Yeah.
They needed it.
Yeah, now I'm brushing it off my shoulders real quick. But here,
to be honest with you, when they announced that they were going to fix the Master Chief Collection last year, I said there won't be a Halo.
Rand has got another prediction. He says there may be a Halo game this year. Well, Rand, I do think that we'll get the Halo Master Chief Collection cleaned up in 4K, 4K 60 glory.
Spartan Assault 2.
But yeah, I don't think
Assault 2.
I don't think we're gonna get Halo 6. But I'm not one to predict that. I also have no problem with it coming out next year.
Too.
Speaking of gamers freaking out, let's talk about Crash Bandicoot, folks. Okay, Crash Bandicoot's coming to Xbox. And
Twitter in the last 24 hours has been so funny. See the way people
Why
are
are people
reacting.
so angry?
I don't know. We didn't get mad when Curse of the Brotherhood went over to Sony. No, you like that reference? Thank you, everybody. Yes. What do you guys think? I mean, are you guys excited for forget the hype thing? Like, hey, it's coming, and we didn't know.
I already have it on PlayStation, so I mean, I'll probably pick it up on PS4 too.
I have it on the PlayStation, and I hate to say this, I'll probably wind up buying it again.
He only buys everything, folks.
You guys are nuts. I'm not buying nothing.
I'm getting on the Switch.
I'm not even a Crash Bandicoot fan, to be honest with you. I think it's going to do good. I think it's going to do really well on the Switch, though. It kind of fits that platform.
Well, according to the media, it's coming to the Switch and other.
It's only going there.
So.
Yeah, other platforms.
Hey, you know what? I know we're getting
save lock. Excuse us. No, get locked.
We're getting close to the end, but we have to mention Hellblade coming to the Xbox One as well, Mooch.
Yeah, I wanted to say that both of those games coming have gotten the Sony fans in a tizzy.
Yes.
And I don't understand what at this point right now, folks, we all know unless it's a Sony first party or a Microsoft first party, nothing in the world is on lockdown. We see everything like we didn't remember the whole time exclusive with Tomb Raider, and Microsoft paid a fortune.
To Tomb Raider style deals. That's what Crash literally was.
Yes.
It was a Tomb Raider style agreement.
See, I understand like Crash because I used to play that game, and it was definitely something that I enjoyed. So nostalgia, things like that, whatever. But I'm kind of confused about why people are so hype about something like Hellblade coming to Xbox because, I mean, I understand because the bragging factor and things like that, but like, why didn't people feel the need there are people begging like, yes, please, Xbox, please release. Like, why didn't you get a PlayStation if you wanted to play the game so badly?
Right. Nobody really wanted to play that game that badly.
So why are people saying, oh my gosh, yes, thank goodness.
I think it's just like some of the vocal minority or whatever.
Well, let me ask crap.
But the game wasn't even a hit on PlayStation and PC. It was like, it was a AA budget title.
Right,
it looked
Crap
good.
and boom. Crap and boom. Here's my question to you guys, and whoever did play, and if you did, Pred, answer this. Whoever played Crash, are the mechanics still feeling like they're ages old?
No.
In the remake, no.
No, I mean it's a remake. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you're gonna get what you're gonna get. The camera sometimes,
Well, that's what I'm saying. So it still plays like it's old. That's what I'm asking.
Not so much that it plays like an old.
I beat Shadow of the Colossus, the remake. I enjoyed it. I really did, but I also enjoyed it for what it was. That's an important part of the sentence, folks. I enjoyed it for what it was. In this case, I'm asking, when I play Crash, am I going to feel like it's
no? I think
the early 2000s again.
No, I think you're still. I think
totally reworked it. Like it's not a remaster at all.
Does it feel like Ratchet and Clank crap?
No, this is like a really traditional platformer.
Yes, the camera sometimes goes in front of you where you're running. It's
Why do I feel like I'm taking one step forward and two steps back with this conversation?
I mean,
I'm asking, does it feel old or does it not?
It's nostalgic, but it just feels like a platformer to me, you know?
Yeah, I think
when you play Super Lucky's Tale, that's a fucking new game.
Ori and the Blind Forest is a platformer, but it's crisp and so precise. And then there's games like Shadow of the Colossus, which is not a platformer.
Well, part of the reason
the mechanics are old.
Part of the reason it crashes because it was always that little impreciseness to some of it. You know what I mean? That clunkiness.
Okay.
So I mean, it just kind of is how it is. It's like when you play, like I said, Super Lucky's Tale. That's a new game, right? But it has shit old mechanics. You know, you can't So it's like it's a platform. It feels good.
All right.
The first one's the worst one. The second and third ones are really good.
Okay. No, it's fair enough. I'm getting the gist of it. So, I mean, basically, it's a remaster that was done very well, but the way that the camera angles are and the way that it's kind of, I'm not going to use the word clunky, it hasn't changed. That's what Pred's saying. That's what I'm saying. It hasn't changed. It's like I'm playing.
I'm asking. I don't know. I haven't played that one, so.
I haven't either. I want to pick it up for Xbox, but I don't know if I'm necessarily excited to pick it up for it if it's the same.
Well, let me just say this. Somehow or another, I think someone's going to send you the game. Someone's going to send it to you.
I wouldn't mind that, folks. It's P.O. Box, hashtag mooching. Okay. Easy to find me, folks. No, that's great, guys. We are at about 2 hours. I'm sure Crap sent me a
not yet, but I'll
he did. He's cracking his knuckles. Let's go through the we'll go through the long-winded outros. I want to thank everybody in the chat. 500 people stayed with us the entire night. That was fantastic. Shout out to every one of you guys that came out. We have so much news. I think we got through a lot of it, guys. I mean, we touched on pretty much a lot of the stuff that went on this week, and a lot of news went on, and I think this will carry into next week too. But let's go through our outros. Let me start with my guest, the lovely Blue. Blue, thank you for being here tonight. It was awesome to have you back on the show. I know you'll be back again. But let everybody know where they can find you.
So I am XBlue Rendezvous. You can find me under this name on Twitter and especially on Twitch. I am a streamer. I usually post my streams and other gaming related things on my YouTube if you want to go check it out. And my YouTube, just to warn you, is a little bit of everything. So do not get scared, all right? There have been plenty of people that have come over and said, what is this? It's a little bit of everything. So I hope someone can find something that they'll enjoy there. Thank you so much. I admire
that, Blue. I really do. I like that you kind of have different things on your channel. That's what makes it fun. I mean, myself personally, I'm looking. I know I've said this for a while, but I am currently making the move. I'd like to do certain things on the channel too they'll be gaming related. Let's not kid ourselves, but more than just podcasting. So I'm looking to do a little bit more. So I think that's great that you do that. Yeah. And definitely, guys, go check out Blue. She's entertaining and she's definitely fun to listen to. So thanks for being here, Blue. Appreciate it. Our other guest, he's here enough where he's almost a regular. Pred, thanks for being here tonight, brother. Always good to hear you. And I like how you do something on the show that not anyone else that's ever guested or as a usual suspect does. There's people talking and Pred is literally underneath them speaking low, but with a comment. You know what I mean? It's almost like you've got to tune into it again, but when you hear it, it's quality. Pred, thanks for being here tonight, brother.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me on again. It feels like I haven't been on the show in a while, man. I know you had a lot of guests lately, so
has been a minute.
Thanks for having me back on again this week. You can find me Predator_H2OS on Steam, on PlayStation 4, and of course on Xbox. I'm also on Switch, whatever multi-plats they have on there. Next podcast on Saturdays. It should be lit tomorrow. No gameplay for me since Xbox wanted to quit. And
excuse me.
Hashtag I should have won all three.
Oh, damn. Four. There was four there.
Predator_H2OS on YouTube as well. Thanks for
nice, Pred. Always good to have you here, bro. I appreciate it. Senora Bombastic Boom. I know you took today off, but that means we're getting 10 videos tomorrow. What's up, buddy? Where can people find you?
Well, you can find me on Twitter at Mr. Boomstick XL, and just please check out my channel, Double Barrel Gaming Mr. Boomstick. I try to do everyday, videos at least once a day, and I've been averaging a good amount. And the channel really has taken off, and that's a big thanks to the community who stepped up big time to promote it. It just has been a whirlwind of success, and I could not be more happy and humbled by the way the community has opened their arms to me.
Very cool, Boom. Always good to have you here. You're part of the family. We appreciate it. And XBot448, I know you got something big going on tomorrow, buddy. Where can they find you?
Yes, sir. Just go over to YouTube. It's my channel is XBot448. Be sure to check out the next podcast tomorrow, 7 p.m., where I will be going head-to-head, mano-a-mano, gameplay-wise, against El Mega himself for the best gameplay that we showed on February. And so that's 4 different kind of chunks of gameplay that our supporters will get to vote on. And it was an absolute blast. The chat was fire. I love having such strong opinions when it comes to the panel on Crossfire. It was a great show tonight, everyone.
Absolutely, Xbot couldn't prove that more. And and listen, Xbot, you are family here, right, brother? You've been with me since episode 1. It's been great. I wouldn't mind seeing K Mega win one, because when he does, it is funny on Twitter when he wins.
He's won too many to begin with. Man, he's shown his gameplay where he was on his ass 80% of the time. Man.
It's great. It is so great though when he wins. He goes off on Twitter, dude. He goes off. I
see him. I can see him with like the flute glass of champagne at his house, like putting it up in the air, like, yeah, I got this, looking like Snoop Dogg or something.
Well, I'll be paying attention to that show. Trust me. Yeah, I know. I felt bad, Pred. Sorry about that, Pred.
Pred has had some fire gameplay, man. Oh my goodness.
Resubmit, Pred. Resubmit. Then we got my buddy Alan Walsh. He's our Crossfire insider. That's what I like to call him. Alan, fullthrottle.com. Where can people find you, brother?
Yeah, thanks again for having me on the show. Great episode as always. The panel was absolutely on fire, and the chat was just brilliant as well. So you can find me at Beetle Comet on all the social medias, Twitter, YouTube, Mixer, Xbox Live, and my website content and articles can be found on fullthrottlemedia.co.uk.
Very cool, Alan. Thanks for being here. Really appreciate it, especially with the time zone difference. Truly appreciated. And certainly not last, my buddy, Crap Gamer. Crap, where can people find you?
Crap Gamer Reviews.
That's so great, Crap. I love it.
That one does not get old.
No, it doesn't. I love how he's made it shorter and shorter. I love it. Crap, thank you for being here. Appreciate it. Real quick plugs here for everybody. We do have Coin Slot Saturdays tomorrow at 2 p.m. on JKB's channel. I'll be there. And then Monday morning. Yeah, right. I wish we could do it every morning. Sunday morning, 11 a.m. MNC mornings. Do not miss it. We've got new skits. It's going to be a blast. New stuff, new content we're going to be discussing. Guys, we'll see you next Friday. Have a great weekend. Peace.